Golf Channel's exclusive coverage of the LPGA Tour is presented by Volunteers of America, helping America's most vulnerable.
Golf Channel, in association with the LPGA Tour, is proud to present the season-long race to the CME Globe. Today, it's live final round coverage of the Diamond Resorts Tournament of Champions presented by IOA. After a rainy Saturday, it is absolutely glorious here in the shadow of the Four Seasons Orlando. Four Seasons Golf and Sports Club Orlando, the host of this season-opening Diamond Resorts Tournament of Champions for a third straight year. And the top two Americans in the world rankings are in the final group, and they're playing with another proven American winner, Jessica Korda. They're at the par 3 ninth. Grant Boone and Paige McKenzie watching Jessica.
That's going to provide a delicate pitch shot back up towards that hole. Bit of an unforced error on this par 3.
Jessica Korda playing with Nelly Korda. And there's one more player with a chance to win the golf scooter from Fat Scooters, Fat with a PH. And maybe Danielle, who had 3 aces in one season a few years ago. Maybe she could ride off into this Central Florida sunset today.
She was giving away cars like Oprah.
Yes. She leads it by 3. It was a 2-shot lead when the round began. She has not made a bogey this week. Nice par save of about 5 feet on the 8th hole.
Oh, good shot.
Good job.
Thanks.
Couldn't tell if she was being sarcastic or not.
Sure.
It is.
It's pin eye, right?
Certainly.
I swung that well.
Acceptable. All right, Paige, let's look at some of the highlights from Danielle Kang, leading it by 2, and then this at the first.
Yeah, and a part of today getting off to a hot start was important for whoever it was, and Danielle Kang setting the tone early that she's not going anywhere.
Jessica Korda made a bogey at the 3rd, so the lead was 4 for Danielle until Jessica did this at 6.
Yeah, and her tendency is to make a charge late in the round, so as long as she's keeping pace early, that's on trend.
Jessica would also birdie the 7th hole, but Danielle with a chance to answer.
You can see how quick these greens are, barely tapping that, but getting it done.
And so Danielle Kang with a left-handed fist pump there. Marty Fish had a 6-point lead in the celebrity division starting the round and stretches that lead at the first with a 3-point birdie. He's got a heck of a raw score going as well. As check in with Marty at that 9th hole.
Yeah, this whole location is a pretty green light for the players today. In the front part, you don't have a lot of room for error if you miss it, but don't have to worry about that with Marty Fish.
He would roll that in for 3 more points, and Marty Fish stretches his lead to 9. He's playing with former Jacksonville Jaguars kicker Josh Scobie. And Aaron Hicks, the center fielder for the New York Yankees, with Cheyenne Woods caddying for him. He caddied for her not too many days ago when she won a mini tour event by 16 shots. Danielle Kang and Jessica Korda. And then Nelly 3 behind them. So the final group with some separation from the rest of the field as the 2021 LPGA Tour season begins. And all of us with the bird's eye view here. Grant and Paige, Karen Stupples, Jerry Foltz, Trip Eisenhower on the course, and handling the interviews for us today, a lot of fun, Chantel McCabe. This is the par 5 10th, and Brooke Henderson.
It's a great look to the beginning of this back 9, 3 par 5s. The 10th hole actually playing the easiest on the golf course so far this week. So keeping pace, unfortunately, with the birdie.
Tied for 8th as we take you to the 9th and Karen.
And this is Jessica Korda from just off the green, Jerry.
Yeah, going with a putter from well off the green. Must have been just too tight of a lie to feel comfortable with it.
And I don't blame her for doing that. I think players will stand in that position and know that these fringes are rolling particularly true, so no harm in doing the putter. Now to 14.
And Lexi Thompson, there is Outback Steakhouse for life on the line for an ace here at the par 3 14th.
And the whole location tucked behind the bunker, but you can get a little bit of a feed off of this ridge, and Lexi Thompson playing on the safe side and getting that nice ground draw.
Diamond Resort CEO Mike Flaskey almost made an ace at that 14th a couple of days ago. Back to the 9th.
And this is Nelly now with her birdie attempt.
Yeah, Nelly tried hitting a really soft, almost chippy 7-iron and just trapped it a little bit and ended up kind of where you don't really want it. It's a tough putt. It'll break quite a bit to the right, and as it's doing so, it's pretty quick.
I think, Jerry, sometimes when you do that, it's because you slow your hips down, trying to hit such a smooth, soft shot that with no rotation of the hips, the club doesn't square up enough and it just comes in shut.
Yeah, good place there, buddy. Clock.
All right, time for our Volunteers of America tournament summary. Danielle Kang, the only player who is bogey-free through the first 3 days. She's bogey-free so far today. Even hit one in the water at the 17th, scrambled and made par the 17th yesterday. Jessica Korda coming off one of the best scores ever in LPGA Tour history, just the 6th to shoot 60 or better. Annika's here playing as a celebrity, the only player to shoot better than 60. It was 20 years ago. And Marty Fish is trying to win this event for the 3rd time. He has a commanding lead at the moment. Our tournament summary brought to you by Volunteers of America. Forget about bogeys here for Danielle, Karen, at the 9th.
Yeah, she's got another opportunity here for a birdie, Jerry.
She does. Ball came to rest just about on top of a little spine in this green. Hole today placed in somewhat of a bowl, so this one's slightly downhill. Probably going to work a little left. But she has made so many putts from mid to longer range this week, and every single one of the short ones. And most of them are finding the center of the hole.
Well, if you want to put it into numbers, Jerry, her putts per green in regulation stat, she's at 1.58. That's ridiculously off the charts. Like a 1.7 number is pretty good.
Yeah, well, the ball striking stats for all 3 players in this group pretty similar this week, except for distance, and the separation being this club right here.
And that would have held her attention quite a bit too. Little smile there at the end, knows that she was pretty close.
Oh, so glad to have you with us for the final round of this season opening Diamond Resorts Tournament of Champions page. When you look at Danielle Kang, we have watched her over the years evolve from good player after a standout amateur career to great player, major champion. Now she's won twice in the last 6 months. She can make it 3 wins in the last 6 months. We heard from Butch Harmon, her coach, earlier on Golf Today here on Golf Channel, say that she has a voracious appetite to learn, and she's taking what she's learning from him and using her own talent to become a superstar.
Yeah, I think it was really kind of unlocking her talent is what I would consider what Butch Harmon did. We knew the player that she was. She was a 2-time U.S. amateur champion. She likes to go head-to-head, and she's not afraid of those big moments. So I think we were only now just seeing that maturation and coming out as a professional. But she takes this job very seriously, and I think that's one of the things that we're just learning in the last couple of years, exactly the kind of work that she is putting in, the kind of detail that she goes about at night, looking over pin sheets, preparing for the next day's hole locations. That kind of detail, as well as her talent, is why she's at the top of the leaderboard.
Who'd she beat in that first U.S. Amateur victory, 2010? Jessica Korda. That was in Charlotte, North Carolina, a 2-1 victory. And now she's in that final group with Jessica. And Jessica's getting to the part of the golf course that she has dominated this week, the back 9.
Yeah, it's been incredible to watch Jessica Korda on the back 9. That's why you can't get too excited where the leaderboard stands right now, because there's a lot of volatility on the back 9 with 3 par 5s. And if you look at Jessica specifically, she started the day at 19 under par. 17 under par, though, on the back 9. So she's just wanting to stay within reach and then could potentially make a really nice charge on the back 9.
Played the back in 9 under par, tying an all-time LPGA Tour record, and she matches the second best score ever. First time since 2008 someone has shot as low as 60, and Annika Sorenstam here playing as a celebrity, the only one to ever break 60. This is the 9th for par, Karen.
And Korda to try and save par. Jessica.
But we need to get that clear, don't we, each time?
Yep. This is the first time they've played in the same group together.
In the final round, yeah. And Lexi Thompson to get to 12 under. I mean, 12 under at the Diamond Resorts Tournament of Champions on a Sunday might put you in good stead to win the previous couple of years.
The course conditions have been tremendous the last couple of days. Really good scoring conditions.
11.
And this is Mike Flasky, the CEO of Diamond Resorts. And the main reason why this event is put together, he said that he really enjoyed the LPGA stars that he had playing in the tournament before it became the Tournament of Champion, and wonderful little chip in there from him.
He knows where the cameras are, too. Have you noticed that? Mike hams it up with the best of them. Marty Fish stretching his lead on the celebrity scoreboard. And Danielle Kang heads to the back 9, 3 ahead of Jessica Korda. The final celebrity group is at the par 5 10th. Marty Fish, the leader, and Trip Eisenhower is going to be following him around.
That's a 4-iron on the way. Well struck, well played. Out to the left, not taking any chances.
Just smart at this point for him in the celebrity competition. The only person that could beat him is himself.
Here's what you know. He's going to make, you know, at worst, he's going to be at 137. That's if he double bogeys in, and he's already reached the par 5 and 2, so that's not going to happen. You bogey in, you're going to pick up 9 points. He'll be tough to catch. Back on the tee, you've got 2 of the best drivers in women's golf in the same family, and they're in this final group with Danielle Kang. Here's Jessica Korda, Jerry.
A little bit of breeze in from the left, and I agree with what you just said wholeheartedly. Such a great driver of the golf ball. That's up the left side, the safe side, and going to mean a 3-shot hole. Nelly already hit a really good one up the center. Might have a chance to get home in 2.
Jerry, you were visiting with Butch Harmon via text at Inverness when Danielle came back after the restart, won there, then won the next week, and maybe just some thoughts from you about adding on to what Butch told us on Golf Today earlier.
Yeah, and I like what Paige said. Unlocking the talent is exactly the key. It's not so much unlocking the talent. I mean, it is that completely, but doing so by self-belief. Because he didn't really change a whole lot other than get her to know how good she is, and that was huge. And in the process, all of the stats have improved.
Yeah, the best coaches don't let their players become dependent on them. They empower their players to be able to self-correct.
To work themselves out of a job almost, which a lot of coaches might not want to do as we look at the course setup. Brought to you by the Golf Course Superintendents Association of America. It's the Four Seasons Golf and Sports Club Orlando, the host of this season opening event for the 3rd straight year.
And what a host they have been. Absolutely great facility, great practice facility. If you ever do make it down to the Four Seasons, a great place around this Tom Fazio designed golf course. And of course, Lou Eckert and his staff, the superintendent, has done a tremendous job of keeping this golf course in great shape for all of the players this week. Really fast greens, and we've seen a lot of players, as Karen noted, putt from just off the greens because the fringes and the fairways are absolutely pure.
So we go down to the 11th. This is Brooke Henderson playing her second shot, just coming off of a birdie at the 10th. Is 1 over par for her round, though. Would dearly love to start to get on a bit of a tear, and that will give her a great opportunity.
As you make the turn, there's certainly some opportunities, especially if you're on with your wedges, not hitting necessarily 10 and in 2, having a wedge in hand, or 2 short par 4s on 11 and 12.
This is Josh Scobie. Tripp, he has spoken openly about how desperately he wanted to get into this event. He's taking advantage of the opportunity.
Yeah, he is indeed, and quite a player. I tell you, watching these three players, Hicks and Fish and Scobie, they look like tour pros. I'm not kidding you. This is the area with the nuances of the game where they just quite don't have the touch and feel that tour players have. Smart decision here to putt this one back up the hill at the end.
Scobie has attempted to qualify for the U.S. Open in years past. This is a guy who takes his golf very seriously.
Well, I asked him, what it was like to play in this event. He's played in other celebrity golf events. He says, I like this one in particular because they treat it like a professional event. It's part of the LPGA Tour. This is not a standalone celebrity event. So you get an idea that he's not here for the party. He's here to play some serious golf.
There is an intensity amidst the fun, for sure. And we've seen that with Aaron Hicks, haven't we, as he lines up a putt for another eagle here at the 10th, as he did yesterday.
Well, he's one of the few hitters in baseball. You see pitchers a lot have success, but hitters usually stay centered and they don't transition their weight to the left side. He does it very, very well, especially for a power hitter in baseball. Again, this is the club that needs improvement. This putt very fast the last third of it. Yeah, he was worried about that.
And that's the nuances you're talking about, Tripp. And we don't say that lightly, because nuances honestly take years and years and hours of practice. And I think that really is what separates, just a low handicapper from the professional ranks.
And they have other jobs.
That too.
What did he say? He doesn't play throughout the entire season.
Play at all, he said.
Yeah. Scoot ahead to the 11th.
And we saw Brooke Henderson's tremendous shot in here to the 11th. Just consulting with her sister Brittany on this one.
Karen, I was talking to them, I think it was last year. I said, now when do you bring Brittany in? Do you have a routine? Is there a certain, routine on how you do it, the order of which you do it? And they had just, as of last year, finally figured out kind of the routine of bringing Brittany in, making the decision, then walking into it. And when she's over the ball, you can tell Brooke, as soon as she makes her decisive choice, she's pretty quick to the trigger.
Yep, nicely done. Back-to-back birdies for Brooke Henderson. Back to even par for the day. And I think for Brooke, she won't be happy that she's not at the top of leaderboards, but it's a step in the right direction for the season.
All right, a putt for a 5-point eagle for the leader, Marty Fish.
Yeah, a putt that's really hard to get out far enough to the left. It's fast and it breaks to the right the whole way, and that's predictable.
He might have this thing wrapped up by the time he gets to the 15th or 16th hole.
Well, this is a 13th, and this is Brian Urlacher for his birdie. Get some legs. Oh, yeah. And it's unusual to see somebody, linebacker in football, normally so beefy in the upper body, to be out there, be having the flexibility to play some quality golf as well. Back to 10.
This guy's got some beef. Aaron Hicks for birdie.
About 7 feet. And pretty fast.
Left some meat on the bone, but cleaned it up. And a 3-point birdie. You see the exhale. That was a moment ago, and now live. Just can't gain any ground on Marty Fish.
He's a tough fish to catch.
Okay. Mark your clock, 22 minutes into the show. And now back in the fairway. That is the older of the two Corda sisters, the oldest of the 3 kids. Sebastian is a rising star in men's tennis. Almost won just a few days ago in Delray Beach in a final of the ATP event there.
Risky play here, 230 front. Into a little breeze side, he'll lie. That's out safely left. I like the aggressive move, for sure.
Well, when you have Danielle taking driver off the deck on the 7th hole, there is this sense of urgency.
Correct. Easy.
I'm not sure I'm on the same page with Ollie because 226 front end. It's a light breeze, but it is in. Can't afford any.
Quiet down, please.
Hasn't made a bogey all week.
The bailout here is right where Jessica hit it. And she's taking pretty dead aim. It's a little toe hook struggling to get there.
Oh, stays up.
Yes, that was a complete miss hit there.
Get to the front left of the green. Across the.
Well, she hit it in the water with her second shot at 17. Still incredibly made par yesterday. But that was strange looking. Now Nelly, nothing strange about this look.
No, just 220 to the front, no problem at all. This also to the left side.
Just the hair.
Could get a bounce.
Beauty. Great
Like
shot,
that.
Mel.
Yes. Jason McBee, her caddy, said slide just a hair.
This absolutely perfect approach. Safe, hitting him to that left corner, getting a little bit of work off that hill.
Nelly has a chance to creep a little closer here. Danielle Kang nearly hit her second shot into the water. Ball stayed up. She'll have a third shot in a moment. Marty Fish continues to pour in the birdies. He's 12 under. Leading by 3. This is how close Danielle Kang came to finding the water with her second shot at the par 5 10th. And now a third shot.
Yesterday hit a similar shot on 17 that didn't get lucky, miscarrying the water by about a foot. And you mentioned it earlier, an incredible up and down from short of the lake to make par. This one would have been the 220-yard shot for her fourth shot had it not carried. As it is, 63 yards. In direct line with the hole, she has to play a pretty lofted shot.
She's birdied this hole every day. So very good at scoring opportunity, even from this lie.
It's flying a little far, but, well, yeah, that won't make her happy, I don't think.
Come back a little bit. A lengthy putt for birdie on one of the easier holes on the course. And the door is ajar slightly for the Korda sisters to make a move here. To 12, Cheyenne Knight turned 24 this week. And in her second Diamond Resorts Tournament of Champions, having won in the Dallas-Fort Worth area where she makes her home. Fall of 2019. Now alone in fourth. We have a third shot for Jessica Korda at this par 5 10th.
The great angle. When it lands on the green, it'll kick a little right, but pretty flat to the hole. Needs to skip and check. Check.
So much lower.
Nelly's got a putt for eagle here shortly. The big weekend of LPGA golf kicking off the 2021 season continues next on NBC. We'll get you over there at 3 o'clock Eastern time, about half an hour from now. And PGA Tour coverage will come your way here on Golf Channel. All right, who is first here? Nelly or Danielle?
I'm unsure, and they haven't pointed to each other yet.
Looks like Nelly's going to go.
Yeah, really good look at the eagle here. Turning a little right the whole way. And at the hole, it's actually going back uphill, so you don't have to be all that defensive here. All three players in this group had very good putting years for the season that was 2020, highlighted by Danielle Kang, who was third in the main putting stat.
A little tentative, perhaps.
A little deflating maybe after hitting two phenomenal shots.
Well, we've seen a little bit of everything from Nelly's putting this week. We've seen her make some really nice long putts. We've seen her miss a few shorter putts. So for as consistent as she normally is in this conversation, we've seen a little inconsistency in different parts of her game this week.
She was right there in arm's length of Danielle until bogeys at 15 and 18 yesterday. That 3-putt bogey at 15 really brought her momentum to a screeching halt. Now Danielle, you see it in the eyes as she sizes up this long putt for birdie.
Well, and 3-putt free this week, obviously pretty much have to be that to be bogey free, but nonetheless, this one is no cupcake. It's uphill the first 3 quarters and then slightly downhill after that, and you're aware of that. You don't want to run it 8 feet by.
Erin Hicks from a similar spot, left it about, what, 7-8 feet short. This is a proven winner of the LPGA Tour. See how she handles it.
Excellent speed. Excellent speed. That's impressive.
This is her day
That's
job.
a no-brainer.
Yeah.
You know, and just to expound upon her putting, yesterday, 23 putts en route to that 8 under. I mean, you knew it wasn't going to be very many putts, but 23 is extraordinary.
Huge par saves at 9 and 14 and 17 yesterday for Danielle, and she'll par the 10th to 11.
This is Fish, his second shot.
93 yards. That's a lob wedge on the way, just left of the hole.
Oh, and that'll set himself up with another opportunity for a birdie. I mean, his putting page has been just spectacular.
It really has. He's got a very narrow stance as well, not a lot of movement. Keeps it simple.
And birdie putts here for the Corda sisters. Jessica first.
And she knew when she hit that pitch that this is not where you wanted to leave it. Slightly uphill for like a foot and then straight downhill to the hole. She mentioned after her shot that downhill lie, and the pitch comes out so much lower than you think, even with a lob wedge or a sand wedge. Didn't really have a chance of checking up. Can all be cured here with one good putt, and she made plenty on the side yesterday. Oh.
What?
I was just as surprised. That looked really good up until...
that late little turn.
Yeah. I was going to say up until it didn't. You know, and I think there's a little frustration there, too, knowing the opportunities to make a move are on the final stretch, dwindling. It was a good opportunity missed.
Couldn't believe it. Yeah, so Danielle nearly hit her second shot in the water, scrambling. But she and Jessica both walk away with pars. Nelly trying to get one shot closer. This for birdie.
Not much to it. Left side of the hole, solid. It goes in.
Walks it in. And Nelly with 3 birdies in her last 4 holes. It's crept a little closer to Danielle Kang, who, along with Jessica, makes par here at the Four Seasons Orlando. Final round of the Diamond Resorts Tournament of Champions, the LPGAs and the celebs.
This is for every girl who won't give up on her dreams. This is for every girl who's faced heartbreak, hardship, or illness and doesn't back down. For every girl who believes that on any given week it can happen for her, and who embraces the moment when belief and opportunity come together and her dreams come true.
I almost quit playing last year, so thank God I didn't.
I'm Sophia Popov, and I drive on.
Back at the Four Seasons Golf and Sports Club, this is the 11th tee, and Jessica Corda.
Nelly played first, hit a bomb driver, but it went up the right side in line with the fairway bunker that cuts in. You want to just miss it left of that, but Jessica, as you mentioned, Paige, has plenty of scoring opportunities still remaining this side because of this weapon in her hands.
Well, Well, yeah, Jerry, the stats say she's hitting it 20 yards further than Nelly this week. Now, I don't measure every single drive on every single hole, but are you seeing a distance separation between Nelly and Jess?
Yeah, but it was the opposite. And a couple of times they put the driver pretty well. But it's pretty close almost always.
And to tie up on that point, she's 17.5 yards longer than the next longest player in the field through 3 rounds, who was Lexi Thompson.
Which means she bombed it on the measuring holes.
Right.
Yeah. She averages 2.5 yards less than her sister Nelly for the season last year. That's a much more accurate stat. This one up the left side where she's hit it every day this week.
And Kang knew that she wasn't going to be the longest in the group, but she was very good in her interview with you, Jerry, afterwards, saying how disciplined she was going to be, and it doesn't worry her one little bit. She doesn't try to be anything else. Now, this is the 11th green, and this is Fish.
Boy, this is a great spot to putt from, breaking to his right the whole way, just outside the left.
Ooh.
Oh, on the pro side, too.
Now, he would tap that one in for his par. Now, Hicks for his par.
About a 5-footer. Got his attention.
It looks like Hicks is growing into that putter just a little bit. He's a lot more solid on those putts than we saw him at the start of the week. Marty Fish leading the way quite comfortably at the moment in the celebrity division. Josh Goby on his tails. Aaron Hicks, exciting player. Can't wait to see if he pulls out his driver later in the round. Danielle Kang still on top by 3. Look at Danielle Kang with her second shot on the 11th hole.
Ball found the fairway with a nice little bounce. 157 to the hole. Should be a 7-iron. No signal yet, but can almost promise it. Taking dead aim, I'm sure.
Well, you've had a good chance to follow her this week, Jerry, and sort of from the, I would say from 7-iron and longer. I'm not sure that there's better on the LPGA Tour.
There's not.
They're just laser-like.
Just right of the hole.
Yeah, nice, Dave.
I mean, she's not really allowing any breathing room. That's exactly how you close the door on people. You smother them with consistency, and she's putting herself in position. That's exactly what you do in this situation. You want 18 birdie putts and let somebody come chase you.
Now, Jessica.
Pretty full pitching wedge here from 133.
Green light all day.
Mm-hmm. Trying to draw it in from the right. Still some 10 feet.
See, and that breeds to your point there. I mean, Danielle Kang stuffed one in there really close. All the pressure's now on Jessica to put one in a lot closer to have a chance. As we go to Nelly.
The ball suspended a little bit in that rough. It's a pretty clean lie, but you might not expect a ton of spin off this 126 hole. Way up in the air on a great line, if it's the number.
Oh, yeah.
Shot.
I think when you're playing against somebody like Danielle, it feels very suffocating because you know how good her short game is. And even when she makes a mistake, she's not going to really open the door for you.
And that's what we've seen over the last couple of days. Out of position, she gets herself back in.
Now on the 13th, this is Mark Mulder. He's won this tournament before. 5 points for an eagle. Oh, yes. He's plenty long enough to get to these par 5s, so maybe we'll see another one from him at 17. Trying to eke his way up there, but Fish with a good stronghold on this celebrity division. Danielle Kang, though, leading the way with the LPGA Pros.
Do you remember the first person who believed in you? The person who said you can when others said you can't? The person who listened well and really heard you, who taught you, coached you, and cheered for you?
This is us, 1,800 LPGA professionals. We think golf is so much more than a game.
Back down on the 11th green, this is Jessica Korda for her birdie putt.
Didn't waste much time here, which usually means you're pretty convinced the read is right.
Smooth looking stroke there, Jerry.
Mm-hmm.
She'll have that left for par. Up ahead to the par 5, 13th. Huge dogleg left round the corner. And Angela Stanford for a birdie. She's been playing well today. Just had a bogey at the 11th, so gets that one back after a nice steady par at 12. So we go back to the 11th green now, and Danielle Kang to her birdie, and not quite the same line as Jessica's, but I'm pretty sure she would have got a good idea from how hers rolled, Jerry.
Yeah, as if she needs it, but you're right, it's close enough to where she definitely saw it. Just inch a little left late. Hers probably a little less, but she's a deadly putter without any assistance. Only 2 players on tour putted better than her in 2020. Se Young Kim and NB Park.
There's something very refreshing when you watch Danielle play. She's not the longest player, but she's very content with herself on the course. She knows who she is. She's not trying to be anything else other than her. And that's, you know, being authentic on the golf course is a surefire way to playing good golf.
Yeah, the power game hasn't yet dominated the LPGA Tour, and I think it's going to be a long time till it does.
Ooh.
That was unexpected.
I think there was definitely an air of confidence about the line on that one, and definitely not thinking about the return there.
No, especially when you consider how good her pace was on the hole before. Sometimes get a little ahead of yourself and don't think about the comeback.
Nelly now for her birdie, Jerry.
Yeah, the reason she wasn't thrilled with where that second shot ended up, because this one is slippery. Just got to trickle it down the hill. I didn't see a ton of break in it. Maybe just falling left at the end, but not much.
5 shots behind Kang at the moment. Could do with something happening now. There you go.
Kang's putt just became a lot more interesting. But one thing we have seen, again, bogey-free, 0 3 putts from Kang. So she's been able to kind of dig her way out of any hole so far.
And most of the par putts where she's had to grind to save par have been a lot tougher than this one. But this one's on the fast side. You don't like those when you have to just ease a 3.5 footer in there.
These greens have been so pure. It really is. You can see a lot of the players picking that 0.68 inches in front of the ball and just rolling the ball over it. And the rest, letting, you know, kind of gravity take the rest of the way.
A lot of times in our advanced meetings with the officials, they'll tell you, they'll be honest with you about the condition of the course, but sometimes you feel like it's almost hyperbole. It's not. They said this is the best condition they've ever seen this course, and they are absolutely right. There is not a flaw in these greens.
And I even think, Jerry, that bit of rain we had yesterday probably made them better still. Like clockwork. As the seconds tick away, so does Danielle Kang keep making those putts.
I wanted to be aggressive. That was really aggressive.
It's been a good development, her and her caddy, Ollie. You know, they work well together on the course.
Well, this is the amateur qualifier, Urea. What a moment, just 13 years old. She plays out of Orange County National here in the Orlando area, and getting a chance, find those cameras, because there's a chance they're going to be finding you here in the years to come. She's a great junior player here in Central Florida. Good to see her. And Catherine Schaefer, also a 14-year-old from Florida, playing qualified. Here's the leader, Marty Fish, 12.
Another good position. He was asking me before the round about...
I saw you two talking. What was he picking your brain about?
He said, he's like, I have 6 points. What do I do? I gave him a little direction. Said, make it 9. I'm not taking any credit for how he's playing, though.
He has made it 9.
It's been lights out the last couple of days.
13.
This is Cheyenne Knight for a birdie on this par 5.
Yes.
Nicely done, pouring that one in. We'll go back to the 12th.
And Nelly Korda with 4 birdies in her last 5 holes, trying to make a late move here.
Bunker up the left is in play. This is just right of it, though. That should be good.
Their yardage book that came out, I believe.
Yeah, good one. I saw it.
Well, good position there. This is a narrow green, but again, with a good position in the fairway, you'll be able to attack it.
Watch her attack the tee shot and watch the repercussion here.
Well, I don't think she has a back pocket. I think it's actually, yeah, it's in the back of the waistband.
I thought it was her club head for a moment, and luckily, there it goes. All the credit cards. Yeah.
There we go. Now we got a back pocket.
Yeah, that's the veteran move. It's the older sister. Here's Jessica.
Jessica clubbing back a little bit here.
Big bola.
Left center of the fairway, left edge.
Don't seem too concerned about it.
Okay. Danielle Kang's iron game has been sublime this week. There have been a couple of pulls with the driver, but she has found a way to overcome it each time she has missed a fairway.
Never any big misses. Really, the only 2 big misses have been aggressive approach shots on par 5s, and got away with both of them. That's good.
Doesn't have to look. The tracer tells the story.
Body language tells the story too. Did you see how quickly she picked up her tee? I mean, there definitely is a little bit of that when you're playing in a group where you can kind of set the pace, set the tone.
Marty Fish up ahead of the 12th for birdie.
20 feet, moving to his right. Uphill can be aggressive. Smart play.
How about this?
And Marty Fish. There's 3 more. At the 16th, shortest it's played all week, this drivable par 4. Lexi Thompson for eagle. There are a limited number of fans. How about Brett Baer of Fox News? He played with Jessica when she shot 60, now with Lexi. 4 right, Fox News anchor. Getting a good glimpse of some of the greatest in women's golf. Danielle Kang with a 3-shot lead in the fairway at the 12th, and another birdie for Marty Fish. Today's coverage is brought to you by Diamond Resorts, vacations and experiences to reconnect you with what matters most. CME Group, how the world advances. Win Grips, the best grips in golf. And by Volunteers of America.
Golf Channel's exclusive coverage of the LPGA Tour is presented by Volunteers of America, helping America's most vulnerable.
This is where Jessica's tee shot left of the fairway came to rest. Here's her second.
Yeah, it's a really good lie and a great angle into this sliver of a green. 136. Lost it a little right.
Coming off the 60 yesterday. She's 1 under today.
Yeah, she seemed a little bit frustrated with some of the contact in the last couple iron shots.
Shaking her head. Well, you talked about Danielle being outdriven by the Korda sisters today. She's been used to it with some of the celebrities she's played with the last couple of days. A chance to go first on a lot of holes. She's second here.
Trying to hit a really big 9-iron. Went after it, caught it extremely well. Right at it.
When she sticks her tongue out, you know she likes it.
Well, and frankly, it tells a lot about ball striking when you're able to swing at it. And it doesn't change anything about the shot except getting it longer. A lot of times, if you're a little bit off, get after it, you'll pull it or push it a little bit, but she's clicking on all cylinders.
Nelly red hot, clicking on all cylinders herself.
Yeah, little pitching wedge here. A slight uphill lie to impart just a little bit more spin. Went after it pretty full. Also looking good in the air.
Oh, and looking pretty good on the ground as well. That's going to be 5 birdies in her last 6 holes. Is it enough to catch Danielle Kang? We will find out on NBC as our Golf Channel coverage concludes here with Danielle Kang in front by 3 on the LPGA leaderboard and Marty Fish leading the celebrities. We've got PGA Tour coverage coming up next on Golf Channel. It's the American Express. Can Tony Finau find a way back into the winner's circle? And then join us next on NBC for final couple of hours of coverage of the season opening Diamond Resorts Tournament of Champions. For our entire crew, I'm Grant Boone. Thanks for watching the LPGA Tour. We'll see you in a second on NBC. After a rainy Saturday in Central Florida, the weather conditions are ideal for the final round of the first event of the LPGA Tour season, the Diamond Resorts Tournament of Champions from the Four Seasons Golf and Sports Club, Orlando. Grant Boone and Paige McKenzie watching one of the great rounds ever Saturday. Jessica Korda for eagle at the par 5 17th.
And it was a heck of a display on this back 9. Highlighted, of course, by that eagle, but that was not it.
Took her to 8 under par for 8 holes. Needed an ace for a 59. Settled for a terrific tee shot on this par 3 18th. Was it enough? Just enough for a 9 under par back 9 and a 60. Just the 5th round of 60 in LPGA Tour history, the first in 13 years. And the only player to go better than 60 is here playing as a celebrity this week in this Diamond Resort Tournament of Champions. Annika Sorenstam shot that 59 20 years ago in March. So Jessica Korda vaulted up the leaderboard to get within 2 of Danielle Kang, but Kang is really making it tough on her and everybody else.
Yeah, and even as Jessica approached the lead yesterday, Danielle Kang seemed to answer, and that was true of this morning, setting the tone early, saying she's not going anywhere.
Hasn't made a bogey all week, even hit one in the water late yesterday and scrambled for a par, and then at the 7th, is it enough? Oh, just curls in the left arc of the cup, and Danielle Kang with now a 3-shot lead, playing in the final group with 2 other outstanding Americans, the 22-year-old Nelly Korda and her big sister, the 27-year-old Jessica Korda, all outstanding amateurs, now proven winners on the LPGA Tour. They're playing with some of the greats from sports and entertainment. This is the U.S. Davis Cup captain, Marty Fish, and nearly holes out his tee shot at the 9th. He led by 6 points going into this final round. On the celebrity side of things, he's playing in the final celebrity group with one of the pride of the Yankees, Aaron Hicks, the center fielder for the Pinstripers, with a birdie at the 10th. So Marty Fish with a commanding lead in this modified Stableford scoring system, and Danielle Kang leads the Korda sisters on the LPGA side. Golf Channel on NBC, in association with the LPGA Tour, is proud to present the season-long race to the CME Globe. Today, it's live final round coverage of the Diamond Resorts Tournament of Champions presented by IOA. 25 winners from the LPGA Tour over the last 3 seasons, along with more than 50 celebrities from sports and entertainment, have arrived here in style at the Four Seasons Orlando to take on this Tom Fazio course. It's a Stableford scoring system modified for the celebrities. The LPGA players trying to get their seasons off to a winning start. They're playing for that trophy. There'll be one for the celebrity winner. John Smoltz has won the last couple. Danielle Kang trying to take that home for a 6th title. Paige and I are joined by Karen Stupples, AIG Women's Open champion, Jerry Foltz and Trip Eisenhower on the course, and Chantel McCabe has interviews as some of the celebrities come through the 18th. This was just moments ago at the 12th for birdie to push her lead to 4.
It's a distance she's been so solid at over the last couple of days. In fact, yesterday, only 23 putts on the golf course en route to that 8 under 63. But we'll have to settle for par.
She made a putt of about that distance for par on the 11th. This is another up-and-coming American. Cheyenne Knight turned 24 earlier this week, went to Alabama collegiately, has a win on the LPGA Tour. This is winners only. No cut. Each player playing with a couple of celeb partners. Great week for Cheyenne. She is in 4th place as we take you to the par 5 17th and say hello to Karen Stupples.
Well, it's exciting watching Lexi here on this 17th hole. She's 5 under par for the last 9 holes that she's played, including an eagle on her previous hole, the 16th, where she drove the green. It's a bit of a difficult putt, though, Paige. She's got a nice big tier that she's going to have to go up and over to get down to that hole location.
You get a good look at how the green changes colors. This dark area just in front of her going to be maybe slightly uphill, and then it gets very fast coming back down that shiny lighter green color. Then it'll be moving from her right to left. Always kind of pictured a 2-part putt. They get it to the top of the peak of the curve, and then where's gravity going to let it take over?
Really good, Lexi. Good putt.
I agree with the comments around the green. That was really good. We'll go back to the tee at 13, and Tripp Eisenhower is following Marty Fish.
Yeah, it's 247 covers this bunker. All 3 of these celebrities can easily cover that bunker. And Marty pretty much exclusively plays basically right to left, which is a nice tight fade. And I have not seen him hit a poor drive. And this one's going a little left. Well, he got a good kick off the tree. That's going to be fun.
Incredibly lucky there, because that could have been in some serious jungle. Yeah, he knows it. Yep.
Another fairway hit.
Well, he's certainly having a good time out there, and hit a lot of great shots. This just happens to be a lucky break. Got the top of that tree and got a fortunate toss back out.
And now Josh Scobie on the tee trip.
Well, he hit one yesterday, 360 from the 17th. He has to watch this right bunker. That didn't quite catch all of that one.
He was a place kicker in the NFL, and his longest kick was 59 yards. So I would equate that to the drive he hit that Tripp just told us about, one of his longest.
A lot of similarities between sports, especially with place kicking mentally. But Aaron Hicks, Tripp, he's in a different league on his line he's taking.
Buckle up, Paige, buckle up. This is so far left of anybody else where he tries to hit this drive. In the first round, he pulled it off, but a little further left, only has 150 to the hole. Oh, it's on a good line, but he's right. Got to go.
He did say yesterday that he was going to be aggressive today, pull out the driver, go for some shots, but he has to. He has to go to make eagles to try and make 5 points in order to try and make up the ground on Marty Fish. In this Stableford format, it's 10 points for an albatross, 8 points for a hole-in-one, 5 points for an eagle.
Yeah, certainly there is that risk-reward element. Stableford allows you to be able to risk a lot, and with that power, why wouldn't you?
All right, it's time for our final celebrity group to introduce themselves to us.
Hi, I'm Marty Fish. I live in Los Angeles, California, and something you might not know about me, I'm a huge Minnesota sports fan.
How you doing? I'm Aaron Hicks. I am from Long Beach, California, and I play center field for the New York Yankees.
Hey, I'm Josh Scobie, originally from Longview, Texas, now in Jacksonville, Florida, and I once challenged Tiger Woods to a $100,000 per hole match as a joke on Twitter, and somehow people thought it was serious.
That is true. There is no sarcasm font, as we've learned on Twitter.
He certainly has a good sense of humor.
Nope, don't do that.
Former Jacksonville Jaguars kicker.
Telling yourself, out of bounds, out of bounds.
All right, here is our two-time defending champ, John Smoltz, playing with Ray Allen. You see behind him at the par 3 14th. Oh, there is a prize for a hole-in-one at Outback Steakhouse for life if you make an ace.
Not this time, Grant, not this time.
No. Onion didn't quite bloom there. 17.
And now Lexi to finish off her birdie. Cruising along quite nicely. Lexi's game looks to be in pretty good shape. Danielle Kang leading the way by 3 through 12 holes here at the Diamond Resorts Tournament of Champions. Nelly Corder, Jessica Corder trying to chase her down. And in the celebrity division, Marty Fish still leading the way quite comfortably.
Today's coverage is brought to you by IOA. We make the complex world of insurance simple. And by Diamond Resorts, vacations and experiences to reconnect you with what matters most. At the 14th, look at John Smoltz with the stand-up putter. He's used this the last couple of years here en route to victory.
He said he got a lot of razzing after the first year, but then when he wins back-to-back, people laid off him a little bit.
Like,
you go with what works.
Yeah,
exactly.
Nearly made an ace. He would settle for a par 3. Marty Fish leading the celebrity division by 10. Chantel McCabe is on the 18th green, and she's got one of our Diamond Resorts ambassadors, Lee
That's
Bryce.
right. I've got Lee Bryce, country music artist and songwriter. You just finished a round, and year after year, you keep coming to this golf tournament. What is your favorite part of this event?
Oh, man, are you kidding me? Well, it's a serious golf tournament, but it's so relaxed. And when I get to see all my friends that I've made over the last 5 years, all these celebrities that I got to get to know, and so we get to, once a year, get to see them and hang out. So that's really my favorite part about it. You know, I'm not the best golfer in the world, but I sure enjoy being out here with them.
And you had a little side action with your good friend, Larry the Cable Guy.
Oh, yeah. You know, we all have a good friendly competition going on all the time. I think he might have got me this year. I got him last year. Is always next.
You finally got to perform in front of a crowd, a small crowd, socially distanced on Wednesday to kick off the tournament. How exciting was it to just get back into the swing of things with a little bit of nerves?
Yeah, really exciting. Like you said, a little nerves because we hadn't played. Only even the shows we have played with people so far away, there was only a handful. So to have people there, first of all, was so exciting. Full band, under the lights. But I was a little nervous. I was like, am I going to remember all the words of these songs? You know, it was one of the times of our life. We really had a great time.
All right, are you planning a tour for your latest album, Hey World? What's coming up in 2021? Tell us.
We've got shows booked, you know, we've got stuff, but you know, as far as putting a whole tour together, we're still all in the I don't know what's going to happen thing. So we've got shows planned, but no full tour yet, but we're working on it as hard as we can, trust me.
We can't wait till you're back in full action. I know Cabo is your favorite Diamond Resorts property to go to. Hopefully we can all get back safely sometime soon. Thanks for the time, Lee.
Thank you.
Back to you guys.
Well, Lee Bryce, among his many accomplishments, he's made Danielle Kang a country music fan. And she jams to Lee, and Cole Swindell are good buddies with whom she played on Thursday. It's Kang by 3 over the Corda sisters. As we take a look at our final group breakdown, 5 wins for both Danielle and Jessica, although it's been 2.5 years since, or almost 3 years now, since Jessica's last victory. Nelly Corda won twice in 2019, shut out in 2020. As we take you to the 13th.
And this is Fish with his second shot.
241, good break. Is he going to take advantage of it? You betcha. That's right in the center of the green, cutting back towards the hole.
Looked like that shot was really framed nicely for him, able to fade it around that tree. Now back at the tee, Nelly.
Enough length to carry that left fairway bunker with no problem, even the longest part. This one's over the right center of it.
Yeah,
can go to the fairway on that line.
Off the phone, please, sir.
We're going back to the tee and watch Jessica. And Jessica, I think, just has a slight edge over Nelly with this club in her hands at the moment, Jerry.
Yes, in terms of the control of it. But en route to her 9 under par back 9 yesterday, and that 60 that she posted, 5th one of those in LPGA Tour history, she actually parred this reachable par 5. That is ideal right there.
Yeah, both her playing partners, Brett Baer and Larry Fitzgerald, said yesterday that they felt for sure 59 would have been easily on the cards for Jessica, the way that she was playing. And of course, had she have taken advantage of that par 5, it would have been. Now, Kang on the tee.
Danielle has driven it in that left fairway bunker up under the lip each of the previous 2 rounds. Tees moved forward about 8 yards or so from yesterday, so she might be able to fly it, but I think she's going to try and go for the right side of it. She took on most of it. We'll see if it carries.
A little bit warmer temperatures today, ball flying just a smidge longer. And we'll go down to the booth with Paige and Grant.
Well, this 2021 LPGA Tour season is off to a rousing start with historically low scores from 3 of the best Americans in the business at the moment, Danielle Kang, Jessica Korda, and Nelly Korda. Jessica with a 60 yesterday. Danielle Kang's 192, 21 under par through 3 rounds, ties the all-time LPGA record for 54 holes, needs a 64 or better for the all-time record. But when you look at what Danielle has done over the last 3.5 years, putting in a lot of work with Butch Harmon, the acclaimed golf coach, who spoke to Golf Channel earlier today and talked about the work that Danielle has put in. We're seeing a really good player rise to superstar status, aren't we?
We are, and I think it was always inside of Danielle Kang, a very accomplished amateur player. We've seen success at the highest level in the amateur game, but in professional golf, just hadn't quite figured it out yet. And I think it was due to the partnership with Butch Harmon where you start to see the change. You started to see the success. She did win the KPMG Women's PGA prior to that change, but it really wasn't until she was consistently in the conversation was after she started working with Butch. And I think it really was about that unlocking the potential that was always inside of Danielle Kang.
We see Danielle now with a 3-shot lead on the Korda sisters. There is a lot of volatility coming down the stretch and a huge opportunity. How big is it really to start out a season with a victory? Jessica's done it twice in her career.
Yeah, it can set the tone for the year. It certainly can lock up your card and your job, most importantly for the next couple of years. But I think for each player in this final group, it means something different. For Danielle Kang, it's just a continuation of a great season last year, a 2-win season where she was the lowest stroke average on the LPGA Tour. For Jessica Korda, it's returning to the winner's circle, a place that she hasn't seen in the last 2.5 years, 3 years. And Nelly Korda, at 22 years old, and 4th in the world, it would be an exclamation point on a career that we've already enjoyed watching.
And along with those 3, here's another face of American golf, Lexi Thompson. A nice day today as she plays the par 3 18th. She's 6 under in this final round, and she'll have a chance for another birdie. Had a 7-year win streak snapped last year in the shortened season, just 18 events because of the pandemic shutdown. A full season beginning this weekend at the Four Seasons Orlando. Danielle Kang up 3 on the LPGA side, and Marty Fish leads the celebs.
There's a distance between the idea and the goal. Success depends on strategy. It takes judgment, tenacity, and skill. Ballard Spahr is a national law firm with a singular mission: your success. We partner with clients in every corner of the market, helping them navigate obstacles, see opportunity, and turn challenge into competitive advantage. We are Ballard Spar. Helping you get there is what we do.
This is for every girl who's ever been laughed at or told she doesn't belong.
This is for every girl who's been told she's too loud, too quiet, too this or too that.
This is for every girl who thinks her body isn't good enough. This is for every girl who's been told to give up.
This is us crushing it for you, so you can crush it for the next girl.
Back on the 13th green. This is Marty Fish for his eagle trip.
Yeah, beautiful spot to putt from. Kind of a double breaker, but real easy to run this one by, about 3 or 4 feet. Well, he's not going to take that chance, is he?
Playing very smart today.
Well, he's sitting very comfortably at the top of this celebrity leaderboard. Doesn't need any real heroics. And a birdie there still gives him 3 points and, you know, still cruising along quite nicely. Now this is Josh Scobie for his birdie.
Yeah, about 12 feet, kind of up the hill, moving to his right.
Oh! That was kind of cruel. That looked good enough to catch more than it did and give him 3 points, but just a par in the end.
Yeah, he's enjoying every moment out here. Somebody that follows the game closely, loves to play competitively.
Now that the green's clear, Danielle Kang giving it a go, Jerry.
I'm trying to get it as close as she can. 245 to the front. I don't think she can get there, but it's only 199 carry over that bunker in line with the green. So that's comfortable. Oh my gosh, she tattooed it, but it's out to the right. That was blistered.
Yeah. But not a bad place to leave it. I mean, she talked about, you know, playing smart golf and leaving herself in a good position. Tons of green to use to get to that flag with her chip. Now Nelly.
A little bit of an uphill line, really nice lie, great angle, only 231 to the front. She could get this close. Both quarters have an opportunity here to really do something special if they want to close that gap. This is at the dead center of the green, right of the hole.
Wow.
233 carry on a 3-wood. That's pretty strong.
Well, and I feel like this whole week we've said eagle putt for Nelly Korda. She's put herself in position so many times on these par 5s.
So has sister Jessica, who's getting ready right now, Jerry.
Yeah, she's got 220 to the front, 241 to the hole, and the signal is a 7-wood.
Oof.
Oh, this has some serious potential in the air.
All right, it's time for our final group to introduce themselves to us.
Hi, I'm Jessica Korda from Bradenton, Florida, and we just currently got a mini golden doodle named Charlie, so come follow us on Instagram. Hi, I'm Nelly Korda from Florida, and I am Jessica Korda's little sister.
Hi, I'm Danielle Kang, and I reside in Las Vegas, Nevada. And one fun fact you don't know about me is that I drink chocolate milk every single day.
I think I'll go and grab myself a bit of chocolate milk now if it's going to help me play like Danielle Kang.
It could be like the Indy 500, a new tradition here at the Diamond Resorts Tournament of Champions. A drink of chocolate milk for the winner. Lexi's not going to win this week.
But a lot to be proud of on how she finished out her round.
par 3 14th, our leader of the celebrity division, Marty Fish.
Yeah, just a smooth 8-iron right there. Just left to the hole. Another solid strike.
Should trickle down a little.
He's not making a lot of mistakes.
It is an 11-point lead on the celebrity side for Marty Fish, and Danielle Kang with a third shot at the par 5 13th coming up.
Back at the 13th hole, Danielle Kang.
This is fantastic shape. An easy shot. You hit it a little soft, and it's going to bounce forward off a downslope. You fly it too far, it lands into an upslope.
Oh.
That really dug. Hit right into the base of the upslope.
Hit that good. And that's pretty great perspective and what we've seen from Danielle Kang. If it's a miscue on the shot, the positive attitude comes out and immediately moves forward to the next shot. Doesn't hang on to anything.
Not beating herself up.
Now, Jessica.
This one's a little dicey. It's going to kick off a downslope to the right early and then continue to roll right to the hole. That's pretty well done for speed. Line's not bad either.
Now we're starting to see that little bit of sort of the game within the game between the two sisters.
These two go back a long way. Danielle Kang in Charlotte, North Carolina defeated Jessica Korda in the U.S. Women's Amateur Final 2-1. It was a tremendous match. Jessica was actually 6 under on her ball and Danielle 5 under. And then later that summer, they, along with Sydney Clanton from Auburn, participated in the World Amateur Golf Championship. Roberta Bolduc there, the team captain. And then Jessica turned pro, joined the LPGA Tour in 2011. Danielle the next year after winning another U.S. Women's Amateur title. She defeated Moria Jutanagarn in that one. And both have become proven winners. And then Nelly joined the tour. just 5 years now. I say just 5 years, Karen, and she's just 22 years old already, her 5th season.
Well, and that little tap in there for Nelly will give her a birdie and will move her along to 21 under par.
6 birdies in her last 7 holes now for Nelly.
Well, you can get on little runs out here. And I think for both Jessica and Nelly, it's got to happen now. They're running out of holes, even though there are some great scoring opportunities in the remaining 5.
Nelly's trying to do what Jessica did yesterday, play the back 9 and 9 under. And Lexi Thompson finishes off her best round of the week, a 6 under par 65, as she will look to get back into the winner's circle, playing with John Lester and Major League Baseball star and Brett Baer of Fox News, back to the 13th.
And this is Kang for her birdie. She said she was going to go ahead and make the putt, so let's see what she can do, Jerry.
Well, she's been deadly from any makeable range all week long. This one very slow up the hill. The very few makeable opportunities, and this would be considered one of them, has she missed, absent the previous hole where she had a tentative putt.
Slight little hover of the putter head above the ground before she takes it back. Jerry was right. That was incredibly slow, and just that lack of speed caused it to move offline. But still steady, holding firm at 23, still with a 2-shot lead over Nelly. Jessica with a putt coming up to tie sister Nelly at 21 under par.
Normally one you wouldn't stress about too much from this length, but it's on that downgrade downhill side, so you're just a little more at the mercy of any break that's in it.
She's got one of my favorite setups over the ball. Talked to her a little bit about her putting, and really doesn't work much on it except always checking with a mirror and her eye line, making sure her eyes are right over the ball, making sure she's lining it up properly, which is what she needs here.
Nicely done there for both Jessica and Nelly, kind of making a little bit of inroads there.
Two-shot swings are not unheard of out here. Certainly a lot of opportunity. Those were 2 big birdies.
And a birdie attempt for Marty Fish.
Just inches off the green, going right to left.
He might lead the field in putts made from off the green this week. That's at least 3. And 3 more points, making it look easy. All right, here's Darren Williams, NBA veteran. Retired a couple of years ago. Played Utah Jazz and Brooklyn Nets, Dallas Mavericks, Cleveland Cavaliers. Plays on a really tough golf course in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, Merido. And that'll go on Soch here pretty quickly, playing with the defending champ, Gabby Lopez. They've had a few different iterations of this event through the years, mostly highlighting the celebrities, but 2 years ago it became an official LPGA Tour event, the season opener, and John Smoltz has won each of those. As our final group makes its way to the par 3 14th.
Do tree trunks, you said?
And the hottest player on the course, 22-year-old Nelly Korda, 3 wins at the age of 22. So close last year at the A&A Inspiration. Lost that major championship in a playoff.
Nelly going with 8 iron here. That should be a pretty big one, maybe just right of the hole. And I mean just right.
I was going to say, there's a little downslope there. She might get a kick forward.
Oh.
She doesn't need it.
Veteran caddy Kip Henley is caddying for Diamond Resort CEO Mike Flaskey this week, and he said when he played with her on Friday, it's the best ball striking round he's seen, man or woman, in his 16 years of caddying. She hit 17 of 18 greens.
High praise in that 18th green that she missed. Or that one green that she missed was the 18th hole, in which just went over the green due to a change in wind direction. So
she actually hit it. It just went through it.
Right.
Just, by a foot or 2.
Very, very high praise.
And that's 16 years of experience on the PGA Tour.
Yes. Now Jessica.
8 iron as well.
2 back.
This is out to the right, some 20 feet or so. There's some slope there.
Little ground draw. That's the side you want to err on, obviously, and she might get a little read off of little sis.
They were the Golf Digest cover girls at the end of last year. And cover said, try to keep up with the Kordas. It's tough. They have a great rivalry. Best friends, push each other. And Danielle Kang has not just kept up, she has stayed ahead of her Solheim Cup teammates. Trying to go wire to wire, Jerry, which is hard on any tour.
Wire to wire, untied, yes.
She's got some.
I'm told this is an 8 iron. She's going to be trying to play a pretty good draw here, if that's the case. Exactly what she has tried, and it is drawing. It's right of the hole still.
Oh.
That's an answer right there. You got the 2 closest pursuers throwing darts. She's got to feel a little bit like she's been standing still, only 1 under in her last 8 holes compared to some of what Nelly and Jess has done.
83 holes without a bogey going back to the end of last year. Bogey free this week. Chance for a birdie here at 14. The Disney fireworks. And Nelly creating some of her own here for birdie.
Turning right the whole way. Going to give both other players a good read.
Wow. That was for a 5th straight birdie. She might have needed it just to keep pace. This is quite the sporting family. The parents both played professionally. Father Peter had a birthday yesterday, won the Australian Open. Their younger brother Sebastian just a few days ago made his first ATP final, lost over in Delray Beach. Nelly went over to watch. He's already gone overseas to get ready for the season in Europe. And here's Jessica, the oldest of the siblings, to get within 1.
Got a great teach from her sister. Knows how much it goes right. All of that depends on the speed.
Jessica converts using the read from Nelly. And let's get it down quickly to Chantel McCabe.
I am with Larry Fitzgerald, who is playing alongside Jessica Korda for that incredible 60, the 5th player in LPGA history to record a 60. As you reached the back nine, what was going through your mind as you knew what reality could play out?
Well, I don't even know. I mean, I'm pretty sure she was aware of it, but I was keeping her score. So, I mean, I'm just looking at it, and I'm doing the math in my mind, you know, as the back, you know, continues to close out. And I was just amazed. I mean, her composure, her detail and execution. Like, I can hear her talking to the caddy, talking about her lines, and she was hitting it exactly where she wanted to hit it. And, you know, to be up close and personal and see it was truly amazing. Best round of golf I've seen.
Yeah, you just told me a few minutes ago that was the most incredible thing you've seen in all of sports. So what a cool thing to be a part of history. And today you played with Sophia Popov, who is the AIG Women's Open reigning champion. What is her game like?
Well, she's amazing. You know, she's hitting it really well today. She just made a bomb on 17. And just to get to know her, talk to her about her story, seeing her win the Open last year, and, you know, just being able to resurrect her career, and just see, I mean, she's somebody you really pull for. And, you know, to have her boyfriend on her bag, and like, this is such an awesome story. Got a chance to meet her father too as well. So it's a beautiful family, and I wish her the very best as her career continues.
How about your playing today? I know it wasn't your best round, but how'd you feel overall about your performance in the tournament?
You know what? I just came in this tournament. I said I didn't want to hit any spectators, and I didn't hit any spectators until today. You know, I hit one of one of our spotters today, which I felt terrible about on number 1. And it went downhill from that point on. But it's been a great time. I appreciate Mike Flasky and Diamond Resorts having me back out again. This is a great tournament. I look forward to always being here.
A little oopsies, but that's all right. Thanks for being here. Appreciate your time.
Absolutely. Take care.
Yeah, you want the reachable goals, right? The baby steps. This was just a moment ago. Larry Fitzgerald on the tee at 18. Didn't want to hit anybody. How about hit the green?
Played in the most difficult hole on the golf course through the week, so not a bad swing. At least maybe end on a good note.
Number 11. Watch Jessica go 11 under yesterday. So he's getting some sprint work in, getting ready for next season.
I don't know if that was the 440 he was looking for. Might be a little longer than 40 yards, too.
Danielle King trying to answer Jessica.
Turning a little right, not as much as the other two.
Walk it in and around.
Don't think about it. Well, with all of that, that could prove to be a very important putt. Keeping that 2-shot distance.
She has answered every time a challenge has been made. The quick walk gave her a good view of that entire tour of the Cup. So the lead remains 2 for Danielle Kang as we go to 15.
And this is Fish with his second shot.
Yeah, 101 yards. Yep, he's going to like it.
I would say so. He just looks unstoppable this week, Tripp. So we go back to the tee on 15. Now the fairway has cleared away. This is Jessica Korda.
Maybe with the length to perhaps carry the entire fairway bunker at the corner, but ideally just over the middle of that for Jessica. Exactly where she hit it. I'm not sure it was all that solid. It wasn't. That thing just dove out of the sky, landed in the bunker, and I can't see any physical way it didn't stay in it.
Yeah, that little splash we saw there had to be the sand splashing up from that bunker.
Yeah, it hit right in the face of it. That was a lot of sand.
Now Kang.
With a good solid one out of Danielle, just the right edge of that bunker, or anything left of the second fairway bunker on the right. It's kind of a tight tee shot.
I think the reason that we see Danielle with such a strong mentality is that she knows that she can hit her mid to long irons as close as anybody's hitting their wedges.
Well, she's proven it over and over.
Exactly, and this gives us a good example of, witnessing this group. Oh,
that's a win. Just a little bit. It looked like those balls were going a little bit left. I mean, you said inside of that top edge.
there must be a magnet in that bunker.
Yeah, the same one we had the other day.
Now, Nelly.
Yeah, Daniels would have been fine had she not turned it over just a little bit. That's well out to the right. Needs to sit down.
Somewhat predictable after watching her two competitors.
Well, we'll have 3 fairway bunker shots coming up from our final group after this break, but Kang still in the lead by 2 from the Corder sisters, and Marty Fish still well in front in the celebrities.
This is for every girl who hears people say she won't make it, but refuses to listen. For every girl who thinks not about what she has to lose, but about what she has to gain. This is for every girl who doesn't look like everyone who's come before, but may look like those who will follow. This is for every diamond in the sky. This is for every girl.
Back was just a moment ago. Aaron Hicks for his par on the 15th hole.
Yeah, didn't drive this green like he did yesterday. Hit it in the water, drop, hit to here, and no damage.
Wow.
Definitely looking more comfortable on the greens today. Now, Marty Fish will have this for a birdie.
Look how narrow his stance is. It actually is not a bad training drill when you think about if you do shift a little bit of weight, get off balance a little bit, keeps you certainly steady and steady as he goes.
So 4 birdies in a row for Fish. Now, Nelly Corder.
Well, the easiest of the 3 bunker shots. Nothing to deal with here except the ball sitting down just a hair from 163. Caught it really nicely. Just left of the hole.
How'd it, girl?
What a shot. So important. Keep steady lower body. You can tell not over swinging it, keeping that very solid contact.
And we'll go down to Jessica now, and we saw a big splash of sand pop up there, Jerry, and what's she looking at?
161, that was right up under the lip too, but 161, excellent lie. The mound in front of her, not an issue. This is a 7-iron. That 2 caught cleanly. A little farther left of the hole than her sister.
Good shot.
Nice smart play up on that back level. Flag is just at the top of that tier today. Had to grip down slightly on that one. Now Kang with hers, Jerry.
Danielle's 152 ball is sitting so nicely in the sand. It really doesn't intimidate you at all here, other than the fact that you're carrying water for the first half of the distance if you happen to hit the worst shot of your life in this situation.
As pure as Danielle hits her irons, it'd be hard to imagine that anything like that would happen here. Although ball is slightly above her feet, Jerry.
Yeah, 7-iron.
See, just gripping down to make that adjustment on this club.
You cut it thin, really thin, out to the right as well.
Not what she wanted, but and it's going to leave a challenging speed putt upcoming.
Up ahead to the 17th. This is Annika Sorenstam for a birdie. Got off to a really nice start today. Was a couple under par through her first sort of 5 holes. And there you go. There's some parts of Annika's game that just have not gone. She might be a little shorter of the tee, but we've seen some tremendous wedges and some tremendous putts.
Marty Fish running away with the celebrity division, obliterating the previous 2 winning scores, but Danielle Kang has a long putt, maybe 50-plus feet for birdie. She's up by 2.
Back on the 15th hole, this is Danielle Kang with a long birdie putt.
And not easy. Up a sizable hill right through this portion of the putt. Then it levels out up top, turning left.
Well, and that'll leave her another one of those challenging putts to keep the par streak alive, or should I say the bogey-free streak.
She will not let that ball not go in. Which is sheer will.
There's definitely that will and that fire and drive to Kang right now.
Like they used to say about Arnold Palmer, the ball's afraid of her.
This is the short par 4 16th, and the two-time major champion NG Chun, who has become a bit of an adopted American from Korea, came to the U.S., won the U.S. Women's Open in 2015 in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and has become close to her host family there.
Now Jessica Korda's birdie putt approaching the hole. That was a pretty decent chance at that for her birdie. We'll go to the tee at 16.
And this drivable par 4, it's where we find our celebrity leader. 150 and 149 were the winning scores for John Smoltz the last couple of years. Trip, Marty Fish has waved bye-bye to those a long time ago.
Oh, yeah. Well, he just told me something interesting waiting on the tee. He said, I think I know the only thing that can stop him. He said my back. He said, I probably only have about 3 holes left in his back. He actually hurt it hitting with Osaka a couple of weeks ago. He said he did it on a serve, and that is a beautiful shot. Just left to the hole. It should be nice.
Oh, it is.
Just enough.
Should hold the green, yeah. Long putt for eagle.
Well, that makes the back feel a little bit better, although it did sound like he was wincing a little bit.
Now, Nelly for her birdie on 15.
It was her turn to get a good read from her sister. Sliding right the whole way.
Those sort of downhill putts moving to the right, always more difficult for right-handed golfers. It's because I believe when you're looking up at the hole, you can get distracted from it, and it takes your mind off the actual start line, which is left of the hole. Now Kang, Jerry, this to save her par.
Yep, and like she's done all week, sticking to that process. That sounds cliche almost, but basically what it means is she's treating this like the most important putt of her life, and she'll treat the next one the exact same. She'll turn a little left.
Yeah, she has a tremendous ability to have this relaxed focus. You can still see the soft grip pressure, the soft elbows, even though the intensity mentally is there. It doesn't show up in the physical tension.
So the bogey streak has gone. She can just start up another one on the next hole.
Now the tournament's back in play.
It really is. Especially as they go to the 16th hole, where you've got both Jessica and Nelly fully capable of driving that green.
Yeah, and I think when you look at what is upcoming, not just on the 16th, but also the 17th, the reachable par 5, the advantage goes to the longer hitters. So this is getting very interesting, but a little bit work left to do for Jessica. Not much in this, Jerry?
From this angle, I don't see much at all.
Yeah, a pretty sort of smooth looking card there for Jessica, and really, you know, quite a spectacular way to back up the 60 that she had yesterday. Hardest thing to do, you know, you have one seriously spectacular round and then have to try and back it up the next day. Now, Nelly just tapping in here.
Just been a little bit of a momentum shift, not just on this hole, but in the last 8 holes. Danielle Kang 1 under, Jessica's 4 under, Nelly's 6 under.
I think some of that comes down to the mentality of having the lead, not having to do too much, and as opposed to Jessica and Nelly trying to chase. They've had to do something.
There'll be a bit of a wait on the 16th tee, that drivable par 4. Take a look at the bio for Danielle Kang. Amateur superstar, won back-to-back U.S. women's amateur titles, and then joined the LPGA Tour. She didn't play poorly her first 5 years, just didn't win. Finished top 60 on the money list, but broke through at the KPMG Women's PGA Championship in 2017. All 5 of her wins have come after July 1st, so she's trying to get her season off to a winning start. Played 1 year collegiately at Pepperdine and then off to the LPGA Tour. 17.
And this is Mark Mulder for an eagle. And
I don't know.
for 5 points.
I don't know how he got it to stop on the front part of that green.
I'm thinking he's not short off the tee. He drove it all the way down there and just had something like an 8 or a 9 on his hands.
Well, either way you cut it, 5 points.
Impressive there for the pitcher. This celebrity leaderboard still going in the way of Marty Fish, but Mark Mulder with that eagle pulling his way up there. Danielle Kang still with a 1-shot lead, but the cord is getting closer.
Today's coverage is brought to you by Consumer Cellular, where low rates and award-winning service are just the beginning. IOA, we make the complex world of insurance simple. And by Diamond Resorts, vacations and experiences to reconnect you with what matters most. It's the final round of the first LPGA Tour event of the 2021 season, and what at times has been a 4-shot lead for Danielle Kang is down to 1 after she made her first bogey of the week. A 3-putt bogey at the 15th. So the Korda sisters have closed ground on Kang. Take a look at page 2 here. The defending champion, Gabby Lopez, with another good week. Just 25 players in the LPGA field, winners from 2018 and on. Normally it's the last 2 seasons, but because last year was shortened to just 18 events because of the pandemic, the 2018 winners were kept in. Well, here's Danielle Kang chatting with one of her good buddies, Lee Bryce, who was kind enough to stop by and talk to Chantel McCabe earlier. He's one of the Diamond Resorts ambassadors in concert earlier this week. It's always a festive environment, and it's rare these days in professional golf to see any fans at all. It's been limited invitation-only crowds this week. Celine Boutier, a winner on the LPGA Tour from a couple of years ago at the 18th, and a Solheim Cup star 2 years ago at Glen Eagles for the winning Europeans.
You get a chance to see when players are match play, head-to-head, playing for their continent or country in that case, really what you can do as a player. And I think that was a big test for Celine. I think she learned a lot in that experience.
Playing with Annika, she won the Annika Invitational match. She was just a junior. Eunhee Ji, her fellow pros call her Mickey Mouse, and she won here in Disney territory 2 years ago in the first playing of this Diamond Resorts Tournament of Champions. Lopez on a Monday morning, a 7-hole playoff that stretched past Sunday night when darkness fell. Outlasted Nasa Hataoka. Inbee Park was in that playoff for the first 3 holes. And John Smoltz back-to-back on the celebrity side. But his 2-year win streak is going to be snapped by Marty Fish. This is the par 4 16th, and this is the former Jacksonville Jaguars kicker, Josh Scobie.
Yeah, pretty difficult shot. Well, he made it look elementary.
Really good use of the bounce. Definitely takes some time and practice to be able to hit a delicate shot like that.
The Dunder Mifflin family has found a new home. The Office is streaming now exclusively on Peacock. You can stream every episode again and again. Sign up at peacocktv.com to start streaming now. We have a long eagle putt here for Marty Fish. Tripp, you've had a chance to see him for a few years now.
Yeah.
Tell me about just the competitor in him. We know what he did as a tennis player, and now the U.S. Davis Cup captain, keeping his competitive juices flowing.
Well, Grant, he told me something else on the tee. I was blown away. I go, how much golf did you play when you were playing tennis? He said, almost none. He said, occasionally when I was home. I said, well, how much do you play now? He said, you wouldn't believe this, but he said, other than celebrity tournaments, I only play about 10 times a year. Here's a guy who's 7 under par so far, made 8 birdies today, likely going to add another one. He's got all the skills, and normally not all that great around the greens, but boy, he has been exceptional so far this week. And that one, well, he just took the caution side out of that one.
Yeah, a lot of what he does comes very naturally. You notice he's a left-handed golfer. He's actually right-handed, but he's a 2-hand backstroke in tennis, and that's what he was known for, and translated to golf.
17.
This is Cheyenne Knight for her birdie. Not one of the longest players on the LPGA tour, so wasn't able to get to this green in 2, but she will still be a little disappointed not to have a shorter birdie putt there, but have that for par.
All right. Aaron Hicks has touched them all here at 16. This is for bogey trip.
Yeah, he has. He's learning that golf is a 4-letter word, that's for sure. Been an adventure for him today.
Club head speeds close to 130 for the Yankees center fielder. He's got Cheyenne Woods, Tiger's niece, an LPGA player on his back. They've been together for a bit. She's coming off a massive win in a mini tour event last week, won by 16 shots. And this is an awfully long wait coming off your first bogey.
Yeah, it certainly is. And you saw her talking with Lee Bryce and Cole Swindell, and that's kind of her element. We've talked about this all this week, where she's very familiar with a lot of the celebrities and in this kind of environment, so that'll help pass the time.
All right, after his layup putt, here's Marty Fish for birdie.
I tell you, the way he's stroking it, I think there's a high likelihood of this going in. And yeah, birdie number 9 today. I know we're not keeping score, but this is remarkable stuff.
Disappointing.
And when you're playing with your friends, you probably scoop that one up. You've already 3-putted, and so you think, oh, darn it. Putt everything out. All right, it's time for our whole analysis, and it's brought to you by Looker. See how the LPGA players have played this 16th. Saw an eagle from Lexi Thompson earlier today, and it's playing at 3:06 today, the shortest it's played in the 4 days.
Yeah, and it's really an accessible hole location. The previous 2 days, we saw the hole location on the left side of the green, kind of protected by that bunker. This, for those players that are long enough to go for it, is a little bit of a green light on the green where it is right now.
Hole analysis brought to you by Looker. At this 16th, Josh Scobie for his par. 2 points for a par, 3 for a birdie, 5 for an eagle.
Yeah, this is just after Marty Fish just missed his tap-in for par, so.
Still 1 point for a bogey, so Fish is closing in on closing out the celebrity division. Swing and a miss. Scobie kicked 11 years for the Jaguars, made the postseason. He was beloved by the Jaguar fans. And in fact, the new coach of the Jaguars was committed to play in this event, Urban Meyer.
That's
and then he now has a new day job. Back on the tee, we've got 2 of the best total drivers of the ball, Jessica and Nelly Korda, ready to give it a rip here.
Well, that 306 you mentioned is how the hole's designed. It's 260 front, 272 as the crow flies. Definitely in reach. This is literally dead at the flagstick, but it's going to have to get lucky.
It's okay. Shouldn't roll too far down. There you go. It'll be an eagle attempt. The lead is 1 for Kang over Jessica, 2 over Nelly. Drove this green a couple of times this week.
She's looking like she's gonna try and hit just a little fade, get it to land softer. Aiming at the right edge of the left green side bunker. Oh, got ahead of it though. Started it right, and it's staying out there. Should be safe, but it's not gonna be on.
Caught a tree and nearly a couple of spectators. What about that leave?
Oh, as long as the ball's not up against the edge of the Bermuda where she'd have trouble with contact. It's not a bad leave, but it's also a leave that you might be seeing putter versus wedge, given that there's not a lot of green to work with up there.
And our lead down to 1, Danielle Kang.
If she gets this on the right line, basically at the center of the green from here, she can get there if it lands on the downslope.
She's done a good job of resetting anytime she's distracted or been pulled off the ball over the last couple of days. Mentally getting back in it.
That's also out to the right. That needs to get lucky.
Right.
Right.
Ooh.
Oh, is it? Did it stay in the tree? That was an initial indication.
If you watch where her head is, she dips her head down on the way back. In a way, I don't know if I've seen that as much today or this week. Just gets a little out of position. Again, a little late on the hands, trying to catch up. You could see her throw the toe of the club head.
All right, while we have a moment as the plot thickens at 16, let's check in with Chantel McCabe, who's got one of our celebrity interviews brought to you by Diamond Resorts.
That's right. I have the CEO of Diamond Resorts, Mike Flaskey, who brought this all to life. And we all know there was inevitably going to be changes to this year's tournament. What differences have we seen in the Tournament of Champions this year?
Well, first off, I'd like to say congratulations to both the LPGA and to all of our team members, because the protocols this year are having to do over 700 COVID tests to make sure the caddies, the contestants on the celebrity side and the LPGA side were all tested. You know, it's just been a ton of work, but we made sure that we looked at the data and we tried to make sure that we kept this thing as tight as we could, and I'm really, really proud of that. So at the end of the day, instead of having 15,000 people a day out here, we've got like 2,500, but people are smiling. They're glad to be out here. People want their life back.
Yeah, people are definitely enjoying themselves. What's been your favorite grouping of this week? I'm curious.
Boy, my favorite grouping, I've had some amazing groupings myself, but I would have to say it's the final group of the LPGA today. You look out there and you look at Danielle Kang and the Korda sisters. I don't know how you get a much better leaderboard than that. One of them, last I looked, it was like 22, 21, 21. So it's going to be an exciting finish coming down the stretch.
Anything next for the Diamond Resorts Tournament of Champions that we can look forward to?
Well, we're just going to continue to get better. I mean, the television ratings are great. People love the format. The LPGA players love playing with the celebrities and vice versa, and we're just going to continue to get better and take it to the next level. And you know, I think it's going to be normal next year, and it'll be a lot of fun to have the people back, the fans back. We missed them, and in particular for our music in the evenings.
That's right. Congratulations on pulling this off. What a feat. Thank you, Mike.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Back to you guys.
And Chantel and Mike Flaskey. A little music last night with Toby Keith in concert. Danielle Kang looking for a tee shot at the 16th. Her lead is down to 1. We'll find the ball, see how she plays it. Leading the Korda sisters as Marty Fish closes in on a celebrity division title. All right, this is Danielle Kang at the 16th. The green you can see straight ahead of her. She has found her tee shot. She's going to get relief. If she so chooses. 3-putt bogey at 15 has dropped her back to 23 under, first bogey of the week. And Jerry, what have you seen?
Well, she's contemplating between taking relief and having a better look at the green, but no chance to hit it airborne. And the best way to play this shot is like a bunker shot. You're not going to be able to clip it cleanly, or very unlikely. So from where the ball originally sits, she has a little more room and height to go ahead and open up a lob wedge and play it like a bunker shot. Either way, getting this on the green would be just the shot of the day.
You have to think 4 here at this point, don't you, if you're Danielle?
Definitely.
Oh, yeah. If you could sell her one right now, she'd pay a lot for it.
Best case scenario, Jerry, where, I mean, on the green?
Yeah, best case
Anywhere...
scenario, she lands it on the fringe, the upslope on the fringe with a little heat, and probably is at 15 feet past. But just the initial contact is almost impossible to predict.
The only thing is, I feel like a clear putt now would be good if we went into the green. So, 25 foot past it.
Guaranteed that I can get straight to the standing.
Yeah, I get it, but my only issue with this is that you don't want to hard drive or even to have burnings. I'd rather you try and give yourself a pump over.
All right. So she is going to take relief.
The one thing we have seen when she has gotten in a little trouble is she's never let her mind kind of move so fast that she's not thinking clearly. She's been able to...
We can move any of that stuff around. I'm sorry? Yeah, we just can't. If we move, if anything we move here and move the golf ball, then that's where we got to go. So we move it here, it's on play. You can move it here. That's got it, right? Yeah. So you can move any of that stuff, but if you move the golf ball, it's okay. All right?
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Remember playing the old game Operation with very steady hands?
With the tweezers?
It feels a little bit like that sometimes, but it is about steadying your mind, and that it's something that we have not seen her have trouble with. She is in a little bit of trouble.
Second shot on a par 4.
She just gets it out here, even if it doesn't get on the green, gets on the fringe area. It's not the toughest up and down. She gets it on, great shot. If she gets it close, then I'm walking in. Really good. Stay there, and it's fine.
Yeah, right. Up and down for par. Meanwhile,
that makeable opportunity from there.
For sure. Jessica is just in front of the green off the tee, so she'll have an eagle attempt. Jessica will. Nelly just right at the green. One more look. How hard is contact here?
You know, that's the first and foremost. So making sure that your sternum staying in front of the ball, that your club head is dropping back into it. The error was on the short side. She did that right.
Chip shot for Nelly.
Didn't have much choice but to bobble it through the fringe, and then you're at the mercy of the first bounce. That was nice.
That's a putt to get to 22 under. She began the day 6 behind Danielle Kang and 4 behind her big sister Jessica. That putt to get within 1, pending what Kang does. As we move to the right, you'll see Jessica and what she has ahead of her. At the par 3 18th, meanwhile, Angela Stanford, veteran from the Dallas-Fort Worth area, Saginaw, Texas. She had the reaction, just not the putt. Won late last year in front of her mom, Nan, who's been battling cancer and beating it. It's an emotional moment for Angela, major champion. Korda, eagle attempt.
Yeah, it is. But it's a very, very slow putt. Straight up the cliff the entire way there.
Not bad, but not in yet. So the Kordas will have birdie putts as Kang looks at a third shot from just off this par 4 16th green.
The way that Kang has answered several times today, minus the 3 putt on the last hole, it would not surprise me, Jerry, if she were to roll this right in.
No, not one bit. Yeah, she had the wedge out for a minute, even though she has about 7 or 8 feet of fringe to roll it through, and I think wisely went for the putter. This is an overseeded part of the course, so the grain isn't as strong as the summertime Bermuda would be, letting it into the grain initially.
Let them go, you start again, yeah?
Just start it all over again.
That thing's gonna it needs to stop. Sorry, it just keeps accelerating us every time I want to hit.
You're good. Take your time. No worries.
You're gonna do it again?
Yeah,
Sorry.
You're probably going to do it again, so.
Can you just tell him to not drive? It's fine, it's fine, it's fine.
These are gas carts here, making a little more noise.
Just wait until he goes.
He's stuck there.
They're stuck because they're taking it back.
They're shuttling in volunteers, and as massive as this course is, gas power is a good idea. But they're loud.
He's gonna hit him, then he's gonna go.
Okay.
No, that's okay. I'm just gonna wait. We're waiting on the next one anyways, but.
Good point.
Heart's really, really irritating.
Guys, stop.
Thank you, sorry.
You can understand they're wanting to wait. This is a huge moment in the tournament. If she doesn't make and Jessica does, they're tied.
It's a good run.
Wayward tee shot has cost Danielle Kang an opportunity to pick up a shot or two at the 16th. So birdie putts for the Korda sisters in a moment, first to 17.
And this is Marty Fish, Trip.
Yeah, just a smart play, taking the driving iron, and that's beautiful, right down the middle.
Yeah, he didn't need to do anything else other than that. Just put it down into a good position. He's fully in control at the moment. Now back to 16.
To get within one, Nelly Korda. Oh dear. 6 birdies in a 7-hole span in the middle of her round, but a short one that got away. Stunning.
Yeah, very unexpected. She's got such a patient stroke. But we have seen a couple of misses over the last couple of days. She's had a couple 3-putts, but on the roll that she was on, I was not expecting not to capitalize on that birdie.
So before Jessica putts for birdie, this is Danielle Kang for par. These two go back, as we showed you earlier. U.S. Women's Amateur Final in 2010. Both players played brilliantly. Danielle pushed ahead at the end, won 2-1. Now they are teammates in the Solheim Cup and competitors here.
Just a left center putt here. Formality under most circumstances, not the 70th hole of an event.
It was a good score from where she was off the tee. But a drivable par 4 opportunity. Great putt. Goes by the board. Well, a little over 24 hours ago, Jerry, Jessica Korda began this third round. The third round yesterday, 6 behind Danielle Kang. Went out and shot a 60 yesterday. And though she started a bit slowly today, this putt to tie the lead.
Well, as Paige mentioned at the top of our show, 17 under on the backside alone. She loves this side. Everybody does a lot of scoring opportunities, but Yeah, that was just remarkable yesterday. Tied the all-time low 9-hole score to par. And now, a legitimate chance to win. Not much to this.
We're tied with 2 to play. A par for Kang, a birdie for Jessica Korda. Nelly Korda 2 back. They head to the par 5 17th.
Back at the 17th, this is Marty Fish with his second shot.
Yeah, just 197. No wind at all.
I didn't hit it great, too.
Yeah, just one groove down because it's going right at it, but it's going to come up just short. Over the water, though.
Keeping that back loose.
And now this is Hicks with his second shot.
120 yards. Yes, you heard that right. 120 yards.
Got quite lucky to stay short of that water trip.
He did. He did. He was laughing walking up. He and Cheyenne Woods were joking. It's like I needed a good break finally.
He was still not going to finesse a little something in there, though. He still had to go and hit something hard, and that's called playing to your strengths.
He's got a lot of it.
Yes, he does. It's been an impressive first outing for him that we've seen at this tournament. Obviously, his background playing golf in his early career, I think, is going to stand him in good stead moving forward, and I expect us to see lots of him.
Our final group on the 17th tee. This is where Jessica Korda, who was already 6 under on her back nine, got to 8 under with an eagle putt. And all of a sudden, she was back in contention to win the tournament. Needed an ace at the par 3 18th to shoot 59. Instead, hit it to about 6 feet and had just enough speed to roll it in and shoot the 5th round of 60 in LPGA history, with only Annika's 59 better than that. And now she's tied for the lead.
No, if there's anything.
And she's on this 17th tee. This tee has been moved up slightly today, Jerry.
Yeah, and going with 3-wood. If she hits driver, she can have a shorter club in, but the fairway gets so much smaller with her driver. So 3-wood, she'll still have plenty of club to get it to the green. Into. Just got to find the fairway.
Swing, Jess. Beauty.
She loved it.
Yeah, and that was actually, excuse me, the goal of the LPGA officials, to make the 17th hole reachable every day. Give a little risk reward coming down the stretch, and we've certainly seen a lot of drama and volatility.
Now, Nelly with a driver, Jerry.
Yep, going for the risk reward. Do you think of? She hits this up the right side and gets a good bounce, she'll have next to nothing in. That's on a good line.
When she played with Annika Sorenstam in the second round, Annika said, "I love your driving," which is huge coming from one of the best drivers when she played in the game. Now Kang.
This is going to land. It's pretty wide fairway. She did hit one of those poles. That is her miss in round 2, but other than that, never going to be in big trouble. And still plenty of length to get home in 2. This one's up the left again.
No problem at all. Very much depends on how much of a downslope you have. With that, we shall find out. Now, Fish with his third.
Yeah, just trickled in. You know, being left-hander, this is a little bit more difficult shot. Not real hard nonetheless. And, well, there you go. Any questions?
Amazing. I mean, Triple saying he hardly plays. I mean, he's showing such good touch around the greens for somebody who doesn't play.
Well, check out where he leans into that left side, keeping the weight forward, ball in the front part of that foot, allowing the upslope to just go ahead and loft the ball up. Not a terribly challenging shot, but if you don't have the correct technique, there's a lot of room for error.
just an impressive performance. And, you know, the difference I think, Tripp, we're seeing with, you know, Hicks and Fish is just the experience of playing in tournaments as much as anything.
And you know, Marty's experience in this event, you know, last time I followed him, it was at the Golden Bear Club at Kings Point, and he looked exactly the same, unbeatable. Like he made no mistakes. He left no opening for anybody. He's a really good front runner.
Well, as we look at Aaron Hicks, he was, you know, we've talked about him playing golf in his sort of younger years. He wanted to be Tiger Woods. He wanted to be that player, but obviously, how could you turn down a career in the major leagues?
Especially with the Yankees. Exactly,
yes.
Yeah. But you know what? I could see him probably getting refined and maybe trying the PGA Tour Champions. He's that good. He just needs the refinement.
A few days ago, he caddied as Cheyenne won a mini tour event by 16 shots, and she was with him when he did this, an ace at the Silverleaf Club in North Scottsdale. An ace on a par 4, 303 yards. He would have needed something like that here if he was going to catch Marty Fish. You get 10 points for an albatross, 8 for an ace. And Marty Fish is close, Karen, to, if he hasn't already, put this thing away.
Scobie, though, still has a birdie putt here.
And you talk about passion for the game. He was talking to me about the similarities between kicking and golf, not only the mental aspect of it, which of course place kicking is pretty much all mental, but he said, you know, the hooking and the slicing of the kicks and stuff. So there's a lot of similarities.
I do get a kick out of how serious so many of these players take the game of golf post their playing career, and Marty Fish, even before the round, was asking me, you know, I have a 6-point lead. What should I be thinking of? And I said, make it a 9-point lead. And for a player that's used to playing head-to-head, he then looked at me and says, well, what about the other guys? And I'm like, well, you're not playing the other guys today. And I think that's the difference, too, is as you mature in playing competitive golf, you start to learn the nuances of the competition of your own game and trying to improve yourself and not worry so much. It's not a head-to-head game unless you're playing match play. You don't really need to worry about what the players in your group are doing. It's more about what can you do on the golf course. And I'm not taking any credit for how he's playing today, because it ultimately is always about execution, but he certainly posted some good scores this week.
That'll be just a plain old regular boring par there for Fish.
There he is, the righty, as Paige mentioned earlier in tennis, but he had the backhand that was reminiscent of his golf swing. And then 25 years later, won the American Century Championship. So he snapped Tony Romo's 2-year win streak in that event, and he's going to do the same to John Smoltz here.
Now, Hicks for his birdie.
You know what? Putted a lot better today. A lot of these putts have been going in, and then, of course...
You got the jinx on it.
I got the jinx on it.
I think, though, that this is like a nice little warning shot for the other celebrities across the bow from Hicks. Like, hey, guys, I'm coming in the future.
Can't wait to see how Cheyenne Woods plays this year on the LPGA Tour after this experience, getting that look at it. John Smoltz, 2-time defending champ, played well, 138. He was 149 and 150 the previous 2 years, and that wouldn't have been enough this year. Reel in Marty. This is a celebrity LPGA combo event, so lots of waiting around. And after her first bogey, she waited 15 to 17 minutes, hit that tee shot way right at 16. Now another long wait.
In the previous days, they were actually combined groups with the celebrities, but these final 2 groups, I think, rightly are all paired together. But Karen, remember yesterday, you mentioned it, she had a little downhill lie, ended up in the water.
So what has she got, Jerry?
It's a lot better lie than yesterday. It's slightly downhill, not nearly as severe as yesterday, and it's slightly side hill, but not too bad. Only 198 front. Looks like hybrid.
It looks like she's going to play a little fade too. She's aiming a bit left on this one.
Well, solid contact, so water's out of play. It's right of the hole.
Yeah.
That was pretty clutch, given the circumstances and what happened on the last hole. Now, Nelly.
Yeah, wasting no time. Ball slightly above her feet. 192 hole. This is a 5-iron. She has to get it on. She hit it solidly, but it's right.
Yes, you're good. Made one of a similar length for Eagle a couple of days ago here. 17.
We'll go back down the fairway, and this will be Jessica. And even though she hit 3-wood off the tee, outdrove everybody, Jerry.
Got a lot out of that 3-wood. Must have got a good bounce. This is a 5-iron as well. 187 hole. Nice smooth one. This too well right of the hole.
That hole location tucked there on that front left, I mean, it's a tiny little spot that the players are looking at getting to.
No, it's just a little peninsula. Very few players would be taking it directly at that. It's a one where you would take a target, you know, you're 15 feet right and be happy, and those players didn't want to get too aggressive.
No, we're looking at the Rolex World Rankings. The top 3 are not playing this week. Jin Young Ko, Sarah and Kim Minby Park, but Nelly Korda, Danielle Kang fighting it, and depending on what happens here today, they could potentially switch positions, but I would say that both of those two players have an eye on moving up to that #1 spot.
It's been a long time since we've seen, you know, a player from the United States ascend to #1 in the world.
Only 2.
And yeah, only 2 ever since they started keeping the Rolex rankings. So it's a goal, I know, of every one of those young Americans out there playing, but Danielle and Nelly get a little bit closer.
You won't find a more inspiring competitor this week than Chad Pfeiffer. Wounded warrior. Lost his leg in Iraq and plays in a few of these events and is an amazing competitor and does unbelievable work with the Wounded Warrior Association. What a shot into the 18th for Chad Pfeiffer. Go back to the 17th. These 3 Americans. Do you think Pat Hurst is enjoying watching this? The U.S. Solheim Cup captain who will lead those charges at Inverness come first week of September. Inverness, where Danielle Kang won in early August last year.
Certainly, and in another, you know, subplot to all of this is, of course, the Olympics coming up this summer, and both Danielle and Nelly obviously well secured within that top 15 in the world that would secure your spot in the Olympics. Jessica, however, at 23rd ranked player, has a little bit of work to do, so this would go a long way.
Take a look at women's golf's super season. The A&A Inspiration, the 50th playing there at Mission Hills in early April. The U.S. Women's Open at the Olympic Club in San Francisco. Atlanta Athletic Club will host the KPMG Women's PGA. Evian back after a year off. The Olympics in Japan. Carnoustie hosts the AIG Women's Open. The Solheim Cup at Inverness, and we'll close it out before Thanksgiving at the C&E Group Tour Championship, which was only a month ago because of the elongated season. It was shortened in terms of number of events, but pushed back into December. And these 3 Americans have gone toe-to-toe today.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting prospect for the American players. Looking forward to it. I think that when golf reappeared at the Olympic Games at Rio, I think it really opened a lot of the players' eyes to what it means to play, to be in the Olympics and to be an Olympian, and the sense of pride that everybody there felt to be representing their countries, and they all want to be part of it. You know, it only happens every 4 years.
She wanted to be part of it. In Taekwondo, Danielle Kang, that was her dream training for it as a young girl.
Black belt. I wonder, she's a feisty competitor. She's looking over this eagle putt, Jerry.
Yeah, and going to give the other two a pretty good idea what it does. It's uphill, turning left the first half, then still turning left the second half. But once it reaches that apex of the break, it's heading slightly back downhill for some strange reason, even though they're 60, 70 feet away. I expect one of these to have a good chance.
She always stands behind it and gives it almost a bowling-like feel, getting that feel of the long-distance putts.
That's going to be short.
You do get a sense as watching your fellow competitor and their ball roll, you do get a sense of speed, certainly. And you can notice if a player's surprised. So the Korda sisters will get a little bit more than just a read off of that putt.
Well, and a very similar putt that she had on the 15th, where she left it short and then she missed the next one. So let's see how Kang does to back up. I think both Nelly and particularly Jessica has a good moment here to put a lot of pressure on that putt from Kang coming up. But first, this is Nelly.
Yeah, and Nelly's mind, I'm sure she just thinks she has to make this to have a chance. That's going to get there. What a great putt.
She's put up such a tremendous run in their last 8 or 9 holes.
If there was one little thing, there was a couple of little putts that she's let slip across the course of this tournament. A couple of 3-putt, one in the first round, a 3-putt in the first round, 3-putt in the second round.
She had a couple loose shots, too, that kind of came down the stretch the one day.
The short miss at the last is looming very large right now.
Yes.
About 5 feet for birdie, maybe. Slid past on the right.
But still in it. Still very much in it. Depending on what Jessica and Danielle do.
As a competitor, you tell people you never root against your opponents. Certainly when it's your sister, you can't.
It can be quite, I would imagine that it would be, you'd be torn. Like I could imagine Jessica back on the last hole when Nelly missed her putt, feeling bad for her sister, but knowing that she has to go ahead and stick in a plan as her eagle putt is underway.
It's got to go. Should be no problem from there for birdie, but a little work.
Yeah, I think all of these players, you train to stay inside your own bubble and not really be affected by the players that you're playing with. I mean, I was referring to that with Marty Fish, and today especially true for the Korda sisters, to have that mentality walking into it and not being distracted and staying focused and present within their own games.
Now Kang, Jerry.
Yep, turning a little left, pretty level speed-wise. Just a matter of, as they say, marrying the line and the speed. We've seen her go to the well so often this week and has only missed one. That was a par putt. This, of course, a birdie putt. She is tough. She is extremely mentally tough. Oh, good catch.
Kang makes her birdie stay and goes to 24 under par. Jessica Korda still has her birdie putt coming up.
2.5, maybe 3 feet, just right at center. Ordinarily, you don't even practice this length putt, but kind of huge at the moment.
Certainly was, and Danielle Kang has to be like completely relieved right now that her putt just snuck in that left side.
You know you're putting well when even your bad putts go.
This is so true.
It's big, though. It's been a while since Jess has been in the winner's circle. Each one of these putts so important.
Ties the lead, going to the 18th.
It's actually
Just talked about how slow that putt was for all three of them. 2 putts for a birdie for Kang and Korda, and for Nelly. And just a moment ago at that 18th, Chad Pfeiffer. What a way to finish. He's become connected with Diamond Resorts. Tremendous athlete, baseball player before he lost his leg in Iraq. Back onto the tee at that 18th, and it is Marty Fish. He already wrapped it up. It's like a victory lap. Yeah.
Well, this one's a little left.
Oh, this is... Oh, see? There you go. It's the winner's bounce. A bit ominous en route. One more chance to see this powerful swing of Aaron Hicks. .185, that's 9-iron maybe?
He does hit his irons a little bit longer for sure.
Well, we're getting a good look at the slope on the 18th green and how the players can play out to the center, let it feed back towards the hole. It's pretty forgiving with that hole location on the left side of the green.
Cherry called him the Bronx Bomber. That's very well put. We've seen him with just some mammoth drives this week, and as has been pointed out, his first time to play on TV in an event like this, and he has acquitted himself brilliantly. Monica playing as a celebrity this week for the first time. And that birdie for Chad Pfeiffer hasn't quite sewn up solo second. Josh Scobie could catch him with a birdie at the 18th. See a lot of these celebrity tournaments that are a term we use sometimes, hit and giggle, and we saw from day one with John Smoltz, the 2-time defending champs, no giggling with Smoltz. He and some of these other stars are out here to win, as are the LPGA players Danielle Kang and Jessica Korda, each looking for a 6th career victory. Nelly Korda looking for her 4th. For Nelly, it would be her first win in the U.S. Her 3 wins have come in Australia and Taiwan. And an opportunity on a huge stage here for all.
What does once in a lifetime mean to you? Hanging out with music stars at intimate
And it really is. And for a lot of reasons, it's meaningful in different ways for each one of these players. And I think, again, Danielle Kang coming off of a career year last year, 2-time winner, low stroke average on the LPGA Tour season, just a continuation of what we've seen over the last 24 months from Danielle Kang. And for Jessica Korda, her name hasn't been in the headlines nearly as much as her sister Nelly, and I think this is an incredible opportunity for her to kind of reassert herself in that American golf conversation and back up in the world rankings, put herself in position again. So I think it's extraordinarily meaningful for all these players. Nelly, of course, has been in that conversation, is 4th in the world, and at 22 years old could be a real superstar.
Second shot for Marty Fish.
Boy, he's been exceptional with these this week, and
he's going to set a new celebrity division record with this point total, guaranteed of at least a point if he could 2-putt that one. Now, he said that he's got Sebastian Korda on his short list for possible Davis Cup participants for the U.S. team later this year in Madrid. They're in the same draw with Italy and Colombia. So a chance to play with both Nelly and Jessica this week for Marty Fish. May have been a bit of a precursor. All right, so Aaron Hicks for a closing birdie.
Yeah, just put a little cherry on top of this week. I think a lot of golf that he played competitively, and he just looked a little tired today because more loose shots than I saw him hit the other couple of days.
Well, Tripp, you and I both know 4 days of walking, playing your own ball when you're not playing week in and week out on tour. I don't care if you're a professional baseball player or not. It takes a different level of endurance, different muscles that you use, different mental focus for certain.
Par putt here for Marty Fish with the music blaring on the 18th before our 3 LPGA competitors and contenders hit this huge tee
Mac
shot.
is happy he's done.
They couldn't catch him. Marty Fish is the Celebrity Division winner at the Diamond Resorts Tournament of Champions. Third time he's won this event. Well, this sporting family has been making headlines for more than 20 years. Peter Korda won the Men's Australian Open back in 1998, just before Nelly was born. Then Jessica Korda won the season-opening ISPS Handle Women's Australian Open back in 2012. And Sebastian Korda won the Australian Open boys title, and then finishing it off, Nelly 2 years ago, winning the Australian Open as well, all with the Korda kick. There is Peter and Regina. They made it easy on mom and dad. Didn't have to follow 2 different groups. Just staying loose.
Really staying loose. I'm seeing the
Little shimmy.
Little shimmy.
Yeah. Got a par putt here for Aaron Hicks.
Always putts with the flagstick in.
Yeah, what do you think about that?
I like it. You know, I think it's a good visual for guys. It certainly helped some players on tour, but oh my goodness. That describes his day right there.
All right, pick up 1 point. Get to 140. Pitchers and catchers are going to report here just a few weeks. Back in center field for the New York Yankees. Back in the calm environment of center field at Yankee Stadium for Aaron Hicks. The green is clear, and our final group of LPGA stars are ready. Jessica and Danielle Kang tied, and Nelly Korda needing something special.
Jessica going with the club to get it close. She has to hit it really well. 6-iron. Only 172 to cover the water front, but that is well right. Might catch the slope and get better.
It's got a chance. Here it comes. Gabby Lopez made a putt similar length last year on the Monday morning to win this. Never know, she's vying for her first win in 3 years.
Players do have the option to ask the DJ to turn the music off.
A little surprised they haven't. It's serious business on the line, but they're embracing the atmosphere, shall we say. This is 6-iron as well.
Might need this to go in.
It's going to need to get really lucky. Almost identical line to her sister.
Quite the momentum necessary. Jessica came here yesterday needing an ace for a 59. Hit it to about 5 feet, made the putt for birdie and a 60. What pressure? Danielle Kang, she had the crowd in a frenzy on the first tee at the Solheim Cup back in 2017. She didn't want them to stop.
I think it's Lee Bryce that's on, so got her buddy's music on, so maybe that'll give her some good vibes.
That he's out here on the tee as well. This is a 5-iron. This almost identical line as well.
them close to the quarters balls, maybe. Well, they had similar putts for eagle. At 17, all two-putted. They'll have similar putts for birdie, with Kang and Jessica Korda tied and Nelly two back. You look at these three players, and you go back to 2016, and only 2 Americans won on the LPGA Tour. Since then, 7 wins for Americans, 9 in 2018, 6 the last couple of years, and they've been a big part of it. Let's send it down to Chantel McCabe.
I am with the celebrity winner, Marty Fish. You've won this tournament before, but I know you had some back problems coming into this week. You also don't play a ton of golf, so how did you pull this off?
It's always a blast to come out here, and we've been pretty locked down out in California, so nice to get over to Florida and play a little bit of golf. I haven't played too much because I messed my back up a little bit playing tennis, of all things. So I'll try not to do that too often anymore. But yeah, it was a blast. I mean, Diamond Resorts and Mike Flasky and the team put on an unbelievable event every year, and I'm just thankful to be invited.
You've been asking exactly where the girls just hit it on this final hole.
Yeah.
You played with Jessica Korda, Nelly Korda, and Danielle Kang throughout the week. You said they kept you on your toes. How did that play out?
You have to. I mean, they're going to lap you if you don't play well, and you don't want to get embarrassed either, and you kind of want to show them you have a little bit of game, but they're great. I mean, playing with the Kordas is super fun. I know their dad obviously really well, and their brother Sebastian, who's an awesome tennis player. So it was fun. I mean, Danielle yesterday made every putt she looked at, and then Jess shot 60 on her dad's birthday, which is probably pretty cool for him.
So many good vibes happening. Yeah. Congratulations, and we're looking forward to seeing you at the Davis Cup.
Yeah, thank you.
Back to you guys.
So you see Marty Fish won back before this was an LPGA event in 2016 and 18. Now he adds this title to his already gaudy resume, won the American Century Championship, and then went and took a dive into Lake Tahoe after he did it.
Should probably be chilly this time of year.
It was a bit nippy even then. Well, Danielle Kang at times has looked like she might run away with this Diamond Resorts Tournament of Champions, even today led by as many as 4. But here we stand on the 18th green. Nelly Korda not only needs to make this, needs 3 putts from Kang and Jessica. If she's going to win it, she'll give them a good look.
A very good look. Uphill initially quite a bit, then levels out a bit. Should die left.
Had the strange back injury last year in the middle of a tremendous stretch of 3 straight top 5s, including a playoff loss at the A&A Inspiration. Cracked her back. Just trying to get loosened up at the KPMG Women's PGA. Missed some time, but back healthy, back with her old coach David Whelan, and one would expect a huge year for Nelly this year.
Yeah, and even this week, we've mentioned all the loose shots that we felt like she left out there, and yet here she is, 2 shots off the lead and a tremendous final round 64. Her relationship, too, with her caddy, Jason McDeed, has really solidified over the last couple years. They work very well together.
Well, the stage is set. Danielle Kang and Jessica Korda, 2 good friends who've gone back to amateur days, battling it out. Here they are, tied with similar length birdie putts on the 72nd hole at the season opening Diamond Resorts Tournament of Champions, and Danielle Kang goes first.
Improbable length to expect a make, but not improbable to expect it to have a chance. Danielle's is a different line than Nelly's was. This one will be turning left early and continue to do so at the hole.
We've seen that a couple putts. We saw it on, 15, and again on 17, just really misjudged the speed.
Well, it was
on the short side on both.
3-putt at 15 that was her first bogey of the tournament. And helped open this door for Jessica Korda, and Jessica has a chance here to break that door down. A putt to win, might only need 2 putts.
Well, in her mind, she has to believe, almost concede that putt to Kang.
She's coming into this with birdieing 4 of her last 5 holes. So while this is not a putt you'd expect to make, it's certainly, if anybody knows how to ride momentum, it's been Jessica Korda over this week. 7 under on her back 9 her first round, 9 under on her back 9 yesterday.
And something about the season opener, Grant.
Well, she's won 2 LPGA season openers, and 3 times she has won her first start of a season. 2012 in Australia, Bahamas 2014, and her last win in Thailand in 2018 was her first event since major jaw surgery. It put her on the shelf for a couple of months. This for her 6th LPGA title. Is it enough? Like it had the line.
That's frustrating when you watch your fellow competitor come up short. You know it's going to be a slow putt, and don't give it a good run. But I think it's much harder to tell yourself to hit it harder than it is to take a little bit off of a putt. It's certainly much less natural.
Incredible that these two played a match play championship at the U.S. Women's Amateur in 2010. That Kang won 2 and 1, are effectively playing match play from here on out. Follows up the 60 with a 66. Her parents were watching Peter there, and Regina. And this is very much like a Solheim Cup or a match play event. You got a putt to force extra holes. Danielle Kang.
Well, she's got no demons with her putting stroke this week, so you wouldn't expect anything crazy to happen here. But the moment sometimes changes things.
She missed left with the par putt at 15 and just caught the left arc of the cup with the birdie putt at 17. Similar length.
She's had a couple that have been caught by the hole today.
Go back to this par 3 18th tee if she makes. What a moment for the Korda sisters. It's helped rejuvenate Jessica's career. Nelly being out here now. And those who finished up are intently watching, like all of us, to force extra holes. Danielle Kang. Never a doubt. Danielle Kang and Jessica Korda are going head-to-head one more time. A playoff for a 2nd year in a row at the Diamond Resorts Tournament of Champions. Nelly with a spirited charge, a 7 under par, 64 for Nelly. She'll come up 2 shots short of big sister Jessica and her Solheim Cup teammate Danielle Kang. After they do some quick math here.
Like 2 very different emotions for these players coming off the 18th green. You can see the intensity of Danielle. You mentioned it before, a 4-shot lead that she saw dwindle away. It's hard to complain when she's 3 under par, but at the same time, this is a golf course that was very gettable, very scoreable, and you couldn't let off the brake or let off the accelerator today. So certainly a level of probably disappointment of being in this position, given where she was early in the day. But then again, Jessica, when you look at where she was to start the day, 1 over through her first 5 holes, and then 6 under on the remaining, there's certainly some positive momentum for Jessica to be in this position moving into the playoff.
Jessica won 4 times in her first 4 seasons on the 4.5 seasons on the LPGA Tour. Only 1 win since 2015 for Jessica Korda. Nellie's won 3 times early in her career. It was the opposite for Danielle Kang. She didn't win her first 5 years, and she's won 5 times in the last 5 years. This is her 10th season. And beginning with a 2-shot lead, Danielle Kang added to it with this birdie at the first.
There's just a level of assuredness. She looked so comfortable and so confident early. Really felt like she was taking control of this event.
There's another one. Caught a putt of Danielle Kang's. Jessica was making a run at that time. Birdies at 6 and 7 for Jessica, and then at 13, the par 5.
And we talked about this at the beginning of the show, that the back 9 was the place that Jessica makes the moves. If she can stay within reaching distance, if she can stay somewhat close, she had 17 under on her back 9 prior to today. And she proved that this was where she was going to make her move. A birdie at the 13th, again at the 14th.
And Danielle Kang was inside Jessica Korda. At the moment, that got her to within 1. Kang answered with a birdie at that 14th. The lead was 2, but a long putt came up short at 15, and that was her first bogey of the tournament.
First bogey of the tournament, first 3 putt of the tournament. Only 23 putts in her 3rd round. She had been so solid with the flat stick.
So the lead was 1 for Kang. A long wait on the tee at the drivable 16th, and then this.
Yeah, and you also wonder what that weight did to each one of those players. We heard it throughout the week. This is something the players knew was going to happen. It's a reachable par 4. But Danielle Kang coming off the bogey, maybe wanting to get right back out there, certainly put herself in position, or out of position, was able to at least save par, but lost a stroke.
Because Jessica made birdie. Jessica and Danielle both birdied 17. And so they remain tied at 24 under. That was the birdie putt for Kang to get to 25 under. Came up well short, and then Jessica had this to win it. Not the exact angle, but similar speed, and also came up a bit short.
And a little bit surprising. Like I said, the hardest part is trying to force yourself to hit it harder.
And then Kang, knowing that a miss would end her tournament, poured it in. And these two, who go so many years back to the amateur days, now headed to a playoff here.
Where are we going?
You're going back to the 18th.
To the front of the green.
Nellie says, go get him, sis. So off to a playoff go, Danielle Kang and Jess Korda.
I'm not done yet.
While we have a moment, let's send it down to Chantel McCabe.
Nellie Korda just carded a bogey-free 64, a pretty impressive effort. It feels like match play out there. How'd you pull that round off?
Yeah, I mean, I hit it solid, putted well, tried to get as close as I could to them, but, you know, I started really far back. But, you know, I gave it a good chance, and at least I'm happy that Jess played well, and she's in the playoff, so hopefully I'll keep my fingers crossed for her.
How cool is it to be able to play alongside your sister after she just made history yesterday shooting a 60?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. She's been playing well. She made some really good putts today coming in, so she deserves it, and she's put in a lot of hard work, and hopefully, you know, comes out in her favor.
What is Danielle doing out there? I mean, she seems to be making every single putt. What have you been observing from both your sister and from Danielle?
I mean, putting machines, honestly. Danielle was putting really well today. She made some clutch putts, some good 4 or 5 footers for par to stay in it. So definitely they're keeping their adrenaline in and keeping their nerves pretty good.
Yeah, well, congratulations on the 64. We'll let you go watch your sister. Thanks for the time.
Thank you.
Guys.
All right, thanks, Chantel. Thanks, Nellie. Great playing. Quick phone call. Boyfriend Maverick McNeely's been playing at the American Express maybe moving the dinner reservations back just a bit. Dan Maselli is escorting Jessica Korda back to the tee. Jessica's first win was that Australian Open we mentioned. It was a 6-way playoff that she won.
Yeah, outlasted a lot of very experienced players, previous winners on the LPGA Tour when Jessica was able to capture that first win. Feels a bit like a lifetime ago for Jessica. We've seen so much of her in her career. We've seen, all the highs, and we've seen some of the lows as well. And I think she's a story of perseverance for sure. You mentioned it earlier with Nelly getting onto the LPGA Tour. She admitted that there was some reinvigoration. There is a little bit more energy when you've got your little sis out there gunning for you too, and I think they feed off each other well.
That 6-way playoff included major champions like Stacey Lewis and Brittany Lincecum and So-Yeon Yu. It was a birdie on the second playoff hole that did it for Jessica, the first of her 5 wins.
All right, ladies. Congratulations. And we're going to start the playoff here on 18. We're going to play 18 twice. Okay. And then we're going to go to 2 and 18 if we have to continue after that. All right. Jess, you were the low score today, so pick either my right hand or my left hand for which number you want.
Right.
Okay, you're going to be second off the tee.
Okay.
Danielle, you have the tee. Good luck, everybody.
So Danielle goes first. Socially distant way of picking a number. So now Team Korda will watch Jessica. It was the same, except Jessica was with the folks watching Nelly in the playoff at the A&A Inspiration in September, and when Mi-Rim Lee defeated Nelly and Brooke Henderson, they were all in the parking lot shocked just at what happened. Mi-Rim Lee walking away with the title.
The furthest was only 172, so.
That playoff loss followed a win the previous week for Danielle.
It's got to be the same club 500. Nothing has changed other than maybe a degree or two cooler as the sun heads for the horizon. It is indeed a 5. This is a better line than the first time. I'm going to carry a little farther, I believe.
Come down and come left. Thought it might come down a little more, actually. Great shot.
Yeah, excellent leave.
Now Jessica has one less 6-iron in hand. A lot higher than Danielle's. Just a little right of it as well.
This time Jessica will putt first, Danielle second. We had to wait a while to get a champion last year at this Diamond Resorts Tournament of Champions. On the 18th hole in regulation, Gabby Lopez, wearing the colors of her native Mexico as she does on Sundays, the only birdie of the day among the LPGA competitors. It got her into a playoff with NB Park in Nasa Hataoka. NB bowed out after 3 holes. Darkness fell. They had to come back on Monday morning. It was cold. It was chilly. It was a 3 hybrid to this point. And on the 7th playoff hole, Gabby Lopez earned her second career title, following the footsteps of the great Lorena Ochoa, who has been not only her idol, but has become a mentor. And now these two outstanding Americans, Jessica Korda, Danielle Kang up ahead, vying for the Diamond Resorts Tournament of Champions title this year. In a way, the restart after the pandemic shutdown was like a new season, and Danielle came out, won the first two events there in Toledo, including at Inverness and then at the Marathon LPGA Classic. And we told you what Jessica has done at the start of seasons before.
Yeah, well, I guess we shouldn't be surprised that it is the two of them in the end. Both of them know how to get off to a quick start, but it's also a position that just we haven't seen Jessica in recently. And I think in a position like this, she's been so successful for so long in her career, you can lean on all of those experiences, even though it hasn't been almost 3 years since she's been in the winner's circle. You can still rely on those feelings.
All right, birdie putts here. Jessica to go first.
A little bit higher than where she was in regulation. So a little different break. With this amount of daylight, I don't think they're going to get much more than 2 more holes in, probably.
Yeah, it's not exactly a great birdie hole, even though we did see some great shots in there today. It's not a gimme, so you might see a putt at distance.
Yeah, I don't see anyone really going at this flag much more aggressively than Danielle did.
Yeah. Not wasting any time.
Got a chance. Wow! Jessica Korda with a birdie on the first playoff hole, and the pressure moves to Danielle Kang.
I mean, I know she's a pretty quick player, but she was over that putt and had that line dialed in. To have that level of certainty on the line, it's so freeing.
Maybe not the exact same putt Gabby Lopez had on that Monday morning, but looked similar. The closest she's come to winning was a couple of years ago in Shanghai, and she lost by 1 to Danielle Kang. And now Kang has this, another putt to extend the playoff.
Turning left, no chance she hits a bad putt here. If she reads it properly, expect it to have a good chance.
It's over. And Jessica Korda is back in the winner's circle for a 6th time. Competitors for more than a decade, Jessica rallies from 2 back on Sunday and from 6 back heading into the weekend. And our race to the CME Globe is topped as we get things started in this 2021 LPGA season by Jessica Korda, the 500 points, a new point system this year, and the race to the CME Globe. Great starts for Danielle Kang and Nelly Korda. What a way to do it in front of the folks battling with Nelly all day and then Nelly cheering her on. It's been a great week here as we open the lid on the 2021 LPGA Tour season. Thanks to everyone who made it possible. Producer Beth Hutter, Director Brian Hennessy, our entire crew. For Paige McKenzie, Karen Stupples, Jerry Foltz, Trip Eisenhower, and Chantel McCabe, I'm Grant Boone. Coming up next is the U.S. Figure Skating Championships free dance. Thanks for watching the LPGA on NBC.